Chapter 887. All the subordinates took a step forward. Yi Hua immediately felt dizzy and shouted out angrily, "Do you all have nothing better to do? Your Honor, please calm down, this matter is a bit complicated." Lai Gu cupped his hands and said, "I was just scolded yesterday and today I am scolded again." "Alright. In that case, tell me, how did it turn out to be? If you don't, I'll give you a discount." Right now, Yi Hua couldn't help but think of the Azure Dragon Empire's emperor. When he woke up early in the morning, he saw that his imperial palace had collapsed. Now, he could finally understand the inner thoughts of that emperor. He could indeed be angered to death. Especially when he had a bunch of powerful subordinates who caused such an outcome, it was even more infuriating. Lai Gu could be seen taking a step forward once again, and he actually took out his phone. "Your Honor, this is the entire content of what happened last night. It was all caused by Yi Zizi, and we were also doing a good deed." When Lai Gu opened the video, the background music started ringing out from the palace. "Sweet, your smile is so sweet." However, Yi Hua couldn't help but laugh. But not long later, Yi Hua's laughter rang out in the entire imperial palace. Even Xianxia and Donghuang Baiji were covering their mouths and laughing lightly. This man is too talented. He had never seen someone who could spout nonsense like this. He was simply a genius. Who is this person? Yi Hua was unable to conceal the smile on his face. To think that such a thing would actually happen in the middle of the night. However, it must be said that this man's courage is indeed commendable. To actually dare to single-handedly run into my imperial palace and even profess his love in front of Yi Zizi, my God, who gave you the courage? Lai Gu turned off his phone and said respectfully, "Your Honor, we also don't know who this man is, but it seems like this man wants to obtain something from Yi Zizi. Did you get a butt?" Yi Hua laughed out loud. Yi Zizi's subordinates also started laughing. If Yi Zizi was here, she would definitely dig 3 feet into the ground and bury herself. Xianxia rolled her eyes at Yi Hua and said in a low voice, "What, but seriously?" This was the first time that the subordinates saw His Honor laughing out loud like that. Gradually, Yi Hua stopped smiling and immediately put on a stern face. Donghuang Baiji had seen people change their expressions before, but the speed at which Yi Hua changed his expression was truly fast. "How interesting. You didn't even inform me. You made me lose the chance to watch the show." Yi Hua's heart ached. If I was present at the scene yesterday, it would definitely be more interesting. Gossiping about one's subordinates was the duty of a leader. All the subordinates immediately shut up. Right now, silence spoke louder than words. Just like Do Fusher, he had suffered losses in the past, but now he would not stand out anymore. "I don't care what you say, it's best for this kind of thing to happen on the other side. Otherwise, all of you will break up and get back together for me to see." Yi Hua, Xianxia and Donghuang Baiji didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Is there anyone who teases their subordinates like this? The subordinates felt dizzy, but those who didn't have girlfriends were fine, but those who had girlfriends all had bitter expressions. Today I finally learned one thing. If I don't tell His Honor about something good, the consequences will be very serious. His Honor will make you break up with me anytime. Breaking up was considered a light punishment. In the past, the inhumane Yi Hua would be directly killed. Alright, I, the Supreme Overlord, would like to see the Imperial Palace return to its original state by noon. Recently, the main focus of my work should be placed on the harmony between humans and outsiders. Mu Ran has already started making plans, and when the time comes, I, the Supreme Overlord, will need actors to act as the main lead for the outsiders. Right now, Yi Hua was not going to let go of any interesting things. At that time, I will let Death Mage play the role of a bad person, and I will play the role of a good person, saving the humans in the abyss of suffering. This seems to be quite interesting. Subordinate obeys. Meeting dismissed. Yes. After giving out the important instructions, Yi Hua decided to eat a soup dumpling to calm himself down, then drink a bowl of kelp soup. Wow, this is simply too comfortable. Next, I will have to wait for Mu Ran's script. Seems like this year's Best Screenplay Award is going to be given to Mu Ran. Don't look at how small Mu Ran is, her brain is filled with a lot of things. Of course, there was also Yi Zizi and Yu Tong's script. The bigger the commotion that they create, the better. In the next few days, a rumor appeared in the entire northern part of Kangluo continent. That rumor was that Xuanhuan Manor was destroyed. The main point was that Xuanhuan Manor was destroyed by an empire. After this rumor spread out, a lot of people didn't believe it. The Manor Lord of Xuanhuan Manor is a Do Zun. How is it possible for him to be destroyed by an empire? Everyone felt that this rumor was just a joke, but the truth proved that Xuanhuan Manor was indeed empty. Furthermore, there were even rumors that Xuanhuan Manor's Shi had fallen. When many things were added together, many people began to have doubts. However, they still didn't believe it. Because no matter how powerful an empire is, it is impossible for them to be a match for Xuanhuan Manor and Viper Sect. Do you think that Do Zun and Do Di are vegetarians? All of them are ruthless characters, existences that are able to destroy an empire with a single finger. Although they didn't believe it, the words Wushu Empire had already been imprinted in everyone's heart. There were even a lot of people who planned to go to northern Liang land to take a look and see if this Wushu Empire is as formidable as the rumors say. Right now, the troublemaking team was facing a problem. Don't stop me. I want to kill this slut. He has completely lost all of his face. Yi Zizi could be seen struggling crazily. Kai Yun and Qing Yu Tong each grabbed onto one side of Yi Zizi, holding onto the furious Yi Zizi. Not far away from the five of them, Yang Haoyin was squatting on the ground with a pitiful look on his face. His eyes were staring at Yi Zizi's butt. That red packet is right in front of me, but I just can't get it. This kind of situation caused Yang Haoyin to even have the heart to want to die. Qing Yu Tong originally didn't know about it, but after hearing about it from Kai Yun, she immediately laughed at Yi Zizi for an entire day, causing Yi Zizi to feel terrible. This is a stain in my life. Who the fuck would place his heart on someone else's? But he is simply shameless. Zizi, he is deeply in love with you, just give him a chance. In the end, Qing Yu Tong still couldn't help but laugh loudly. It was the first time that I saw Yi Zizi acting like this. I was too happy. Kai Yun was the same as well. That's right, look at him, he has already followed us all the way here. Didn't he just want to see your asterisk? After Kai Yun finished speaking, the four women immediately laughed until they were rolling on the ground. Yang Haoyin immediately rolled up his sleeves and revealed his asterisk. This caused Yi Zizi to flip out once again. You stinking shameless person, I will definitely kill you today. Xuan'er, my heart has already fallen on your body. If you return it to me, I will leave. I'll return it to you, your asterisk. Yi Zizi couldn't help but curse. This man actually said touching my butt so openly. If you don't return it to me, I, Yang Haoyin, will follow you for the rest of my life, until my body turns into ashes and fuses with this world. Chapter 888. Upon hearing Yang Haoyin's words of love, Qing Yu Tong's scalp couldn't help but go numb. Even brother-in-law has never said such words before. This is too mushy. Alright. I will let you fuse with this world right now. Yi Zizi's twin ponytails immediately rushed toward Yang Haoyin. I must definitely suck this man to death. I reckon that his honor should already know about my matter right now, and he will definitely be laughing out loud. And those people, it was all because of this bastard. Seeing Yi Zizi's hair suddenly growing longer, Yang Haoyin was also scared witless, but he didn't leave. He even knelt on the ground with a thud. Even if you can kill me, you can't kill my soul. My soul will be immersed in this love, unable to extricate itself. Qing Yu Tong, Kai Yun, Brett, Yu Hua. However, Kai Yun's face was indeed filled with little stars. What touching words of love. If you said it to me, I would definitely agree. Yu Hua said gently, Banner Master, you can't trust a man's words. Then why did you believe in Lai Gu? Kai Yun didn't believe in Lai Gu and refuted. That's why I only found out about it now. So that's the case. Then Yu Hua, you should divorce Lai Gu and be together with me. Yu Hua, Qing Yu Tong hugged onto Yi Zizi. Forget it, don't get angry. How big of a matter is this? Isn't it just a man who is infatuated with you and you want to kill him? I don't want to play with you anymore. You only know how to laugh at me. Yi Zizi stomped her feet and sat down angrily. Brett slowly sat to the side and lightly said, Women in the end must have a home. Old woman, I am not a woman. Yi Zizi tenderly snorted and turned around. That's true. Women aren't as flat as you. Brett, what are you talking about? Do you want to fight? Yi Zizi immediately stood up and shouted at Brett. Brett chuckled. I'm not afraid of you. Qing Yu Tong hurriedly ran over to stop the fight. What's wrong with the two of you to actually want to fight just because you don't agree with each other? If brother-in-law were to see this, he would definitely scold the two of you. Humph. Yi Zizi and Brett didn't have a good relationship, and they often complained about each other. Yi Zizi called Brett an old woman, while Brett called Yi Zizi a flat-chested girl. The two of them had been quarreling for at least 1,000 years. At this moment, Kai Yun lowered his head and looked at Yu Hua's. He immediately fell silent. He comforted himself by telling himself that it was because he was not fully developed yet. However, after developing for more than 10,000 years, it still hasn't finished developing. You over there, come over for a moment. Qing Yutong shouted towards Yang Haoyin, who was not far away. Yang Haoyin, who was crazy about getting the red packet, immediately stood up and ran over. His eyes kept glancing at Yi Zizi's, but from time to time, the red packet on it was simply too tempting. In actuality, Qing Yutong already knew a little about it. This man also had a system, and it was a red packet system. According to the system's explanation, the man's red packet must have landed on Yi Zizi's butt, which was why such a thing happened. Qing Yutong became curious. Could it be that if I don't take this red packet, I won't be able to continue living? The system said that the red packet system was meant to take red packets. This was a main mission, and if one was not able to take the red packet, the main mission would stop. And sometimes, the red packet system was also very deceptive. Sometimes, the red packet system would land on powerful figures. Just like what happened to Yi Zizi, who directly landed on someone else's, but this completely increased the difficulty of the red packet system. With a cold face, Yi Zizi suddenly punched towards Yang Haoyin, and the latter did not even have the chance to react. However, a small hand grabbed onto Yi Zizi's small hand. Zizi, how can you be like this, wanting to kill people for no reason? Kai Yun held onto Yi Zizi's hand and said with a smile. Yi Zizi snorted. Count yourself lucky. For Kai Yun to be able to easily grab onto Yi Zizi's fist, it seems that his strength is very great. After all, Yi Zizi's fist is not to be trifled with. Yang Haoyin was really worried that he would be beaten to death before he could even get the red packet. You are called Yang Haoyin, right? Qing Yutong asked. And that's right. Where are you from? I am from the south. The south, other than Yi Zizi, the other four women felt that this man was somewhat useful. After all, they were not very familiar with the south. Alright, I am not very familiar with the north either. What do you do? Speak honestly, if not, we are not going to save you. Qing Yutong said seriously. There are some things that cannot be joked about. If I don't feel that it is interesting, I will just let Yi Zizi kill me. Yang Haoyin pursed his lips and used this short period of time to think crazily in his mind. After thinking about it, Yang Haoyin felt that it would be better for him to speak the truth. If not, he would really not be able to get the red packet and his life would be left here. Actually, I am the emperor of an empire in the south. Yang Haoyin chose to speak the truth. Emperor? This caused the five women to be startled for a moment. Then why did you come to Wushu Empire? Qing Yutong asked curiously. If you don't have a good reason, then I will just send you to heaven. I heard about Wushu Empire and I just came over to take a look. Suddenly one day I saw... Yi Zizi suddenly turned her head around and said with a sinister look on her face, I dare you to say one more sentence, no one will be able to save you. I won't say any more, I won't say any more. After that, I lost my appetite, after that I was... You guys understand. Yang Haoyin said in a low voice, fearing that he would be punched to death by Yi Zizi. What Qing Yutong needed right now was the information about the south, and adding on that this person was the emperor, he should know a lot of things. Who is the most impressive person in the south? Qing Yutong asked curiously, seemingly intending to go and find those impressive people. If we are to talk about the most impressive existences in the south, then it should be Meridian Break Sect and Shin Academy. Qing Yutong had naturally heard of them before. Ali and the others were sent to these two sects to learn. Since I have already come to the south, I will go and see how they are doing. Other than these two, what else is there that is impressive? Qing Yutong asked again. If one wants to do something, one must choose a good person. Yang Haoyin was puzzled. Just what are these five women planning to do? Could it be that they are planning to challenge the sects? They are directly going to challenge the Meridian Break Sect and Shin Academy. There are overlords there. If one is not careful, one will die. Other than these two, the south is basically the same as the north. There are a lot of powers that are scattered all over the south. After listening to Yang Haoyin's words, Qing Yutong paused for a moment, then said, You can leave first, we have matters to discuss. Alright, if there is anything you need, just call me. Yang Haoyin decided. If I want to get a red packet, I have to first take care of my sisters. If the heir sisters serve them well, they would have a chance to get their own red packets. Chapter 889. Translation: The red packet on that little butt is simply too tempting, my future is on that little butt. After Yang Haoyin left, Qing Yutong said, What do we do? Among these five women, Qing Yutong's identity was right there. After all, she was your wife. Although Qing Yutong did not allow them to address her as their wife, they still had to respect her. Yi Zizi and Kai Yun basically would not consider this problem, they would just kill them once they caught them. The only ones that could be discussed were the other three. Yuhua said softly, I think how about we talk about it after we get there first? Then what are we going to do? Directly rush into other people's sect and kill them? Brett laughed lightly. If that was really the case, I can settle everything by myself with my bow. Qing Yutong shook her head. This is too simple, there is not much fun in it. If we are going to play, then let's play big. How big? Kai Yun asked curiously. Even Yi Zizi, who was angry, also looked towards Qing Yutong curiously. Now let me think about it first. Qing Yutong also did not know how to play. Thinking back to when they were in Ying family, they just let nature take its course. Upon thinking back to when they were in Ying family, Qing Yutong's eyes lit up. Zizi, do you still remember how we were kidnapped into Ying family? A strange smile appeared on Yi Zizi's face, then she looked towards Brett, Yuhua and the others. Being looked at by Yi Zizi like that, everyone felt uncomfortable. Yang Haoyin, come over. Qing Yutong waved her hand. Yang Haoyin, who was squatting at the side and drawing circles, ran over eagerly. Where did he look like an emperor? He looked more like a little follower. Boss, what's the matter? Yang Haoyin even directly changed the way he addressed Yuhua. I heard that there is a water city at the intersection of the north and south? Qing Yutong also unintentionally heard it in the city. Hearing the water city, Yang Haoyin paused for a moment, then said, Boss, we can directly go there from the sky, there is no need to go to the water city. Are you very afraid of this water city? Qing Yutong asked curiously. Boss, this water city is an intermediary that separates the north and south. I heard that there are 3 great clans inside and they are extremely powerful. If the strongest on the continent are the Broken Meridian sect in the Deity Academy, then the 3 great clans in Water City are the same. Their clan leaders are all supreme beings. There is no need for us to go there. Yang Haoyin really didn't want to go to that damn place. He could just fly over the water. No one would care. Even if he went by boat, no one would care. But if you force your way into Water City, you're done for. Qing Yutong suddenly revealed out a smile. Let's go to Water City. Yang Haoyin, I'm not going to risk my life with you. Even if I drown in the water and don't want the red packet, I won't risk my life with you. Just give up. One day later, a luxurious ship sailed on the vast sea. This sea was called the Sea of Innocence, and at the bottom was Water City. Although it was smaller than the north and south, it was actually quite large. After all, the Kangluo continent was just too big. However, on the luxurious ship, Yang Haoyin finally changed his clothes. He was dressed like a playboy, and with the plum blossom fan in his hand, he looked like a playboy. His hair was messy and his expression was frivolous. What? Frivolous expression? I'm King pretending I'm risking my life with them. You actually want me to play the role of a playboy? Fuck. Why don't you let me touch your butt? At this moment, on the deck, 5 beautiful women were so scared that their faces paled. These 5 women had actually dressed themselves up meticulously. Their appearances were practically on another level. Look at Qing Yutong. TSK. She's simply too frightening. Also there's Brett. He's so sexy, it feels so good. Also there's Yuhua, this mature woman. She's made of water. Yi Zizi and Kai Yun belong to the cute Lolita type. They were the favorites of the foot-scratching uncles. They were just acting, that's all. Their expressions of fear were very convincing. As expected of a movie empress. Even though they hadn't acted in such a long time, they were still able to casually get into character. Beauties don't run. Let Big Brother touch you. What else could Yang Haoyin do? He could only cooperate. What the hell is this? This was the first time he'd seen someone do something so exciting in the Sea of Innocence. It really was too exciting. You despicable scum. You tricked us into the Sea of Innocence and now you want to molest us? Save us. Qing Yutong's acting skills had really improved. However, Brett wasn't very good. The others barely managed to act like women who were about to be taken advantage of. Yang Haoyin's acting skills were indeed not bad. In the Sea of Innocence, I'm the heavens. Even if you scream your lungs out, it's useless. Your screams will only make me happier. Scream. Let me listen. Qing Yutong was a bit stunned. Where did you learn this line? Why does it sound like your brother-in-law's? You actually changed your lines? You're really something. Don't even think about hearing our screams. We'd rather die than submit. Qing Yutong shouted. Yang Haoyin looked up and laughed. Rather die than submit? What a good line. In a bit, I'll let you experience what true happiness is. Shameless. Yuhua shouted. But Brett's response was much simpler. TSK. Yi Zizi snorted coldly. You want to take advantage of me? Just a single strand of my hair is enough to make you feel good. All right. Kai Yun immediately clapped his hands. Everyone was speechless. It seemed that Kai Yun's mating season had arrived. Yang Haoyin approached the 5 beauties with a strange smile on his face. Xianxia and the others shouted together, Save us! Save us! Scream all you want. Make me excited. Although Xuanhuan said this, he was actually getting closer to Yi Zizi. In any case, he was just putting on an act. Secretly touching her should be fine. Just when Xuanhuan thought he was about to get his way, splash, splash, splash. The sound of 3 splashing rang out in everyone's ears. There were now 3 more people on the deck. The one in the lead was a man wearing dragon scale armor. His facial features were excellent, his skin was fair, and his gaze was deep. He was commonly referred to as a handsome guy. The 2 behind him were obviously his guards. Audacious madman. You're doing it in broad daylight. You're actually committing a lewd act in the sea of innocence. You deserve death. The man pulled out the sword at his waist and pointed it at Xuanhuan. Xuanhuan even had the urge to curse out. Can't you appear a bit later? Can't you see that I have already made my move? Meanwhile, the 5 beauties were dazed for a moment. This line really will never change, it's too vulgar. However, at the very least, it's a good start. Hero, save us. Qing Yutong shouted out. Following Qing Yutong's words, the man turned his head around and looked over. Then he became stupefied as if his body was frozen. Pai Pai's entire brain was buzzing. Such beautiful women. How can they be so beautiful? They are more than 10,000 times more beautiful than the women in Water City. These are the most beautiful women I have ever seen. My God, what if I don't get to see them in the future? Baidu search 881 Chinese website yen. Chapter 890. Omega choking with sobs. Novel. Just as Pippi was in a daze, Xuanhuan snatched the sword from his hand and placed it across Pippi's neck. Qing Yutong and the others were stupefied. Was there such a scene in the script? How dare you snatch someone else's sword? How do you want others to lose face? You're simply too careless. Impudent. The 2 guards standing behind Pai Pai shouted. F***ck off, I'm having fun. You bunch of blind fools, how dare you disturb my fun? Xuanhuan was very angry. He was so close to getting the red packet. Then he wouldn't have to risk his life with them. It's all your fault, you bastard, for appearing just in time. Her skin was not messed up at all, but she was actually a little unhappy in her heart. She was shocked by their beauty just now, so this person took advantage of her weakness. He was simply losing face in front of a beauty. Put down the sword in your hand. Do you know who I am? Pai Pai shouted coldly. I don't King care who you are. Kneel down. Qing Yutong really wanted to give him a kick. Are you crazy or what? I just want to go in. Aren't you King adding to the show? You're just a cameo, the kind that gets a lunchbox. How dare you make me kneel? I am the son of Water City's house Pai. Following Pippi's words. The 5 delicate beauties were obviously a little surprised. Pippi? You're really mischievous. You're obviously here to save people, but your weapon was snatched away and you're even being held against your neck. Could someone else be the hero to save the damsel in distress? This guy couldn't be provoked. Xuanhuan woke up a little. *ck. What am I doing? Why did I steal his weapon and place it on his neck? That wasn't how the script was written. It was mainly because he was too angry just now. He almost got it. But now. He pointed his sword at the son of House Pai. He was done for. It was all this group of women's fault, asking him to risk his life for no reason. What should I do? I'm asking you what to do. Xuanhuan stole a glance at Qing Yutong, and seemed to be asking, how should I act after writing it down? Qing Yutong was already speechless. What are you looking at me for? You added the scene yourself, settle it yourself. Xuanhuan was nervous. He had offended the son of House Pai. The nervous Xuanhuan's hands trembled a little. The sharp blade directly cut through the skin, causing blood to flow out. Xuanhuan was stunned, and so was Leather. The 5 beauties were also stunned. Qing Yutong was already speechless. Just what are you trying to do this time? Xuanhuan looked at Pippi and Pippi looked back at Xuanhuan. The 2 men looked at each other affectionately. Yes. Xuanhuan prepared to apologize. However, before Xuanhuan could finish, Pai Pai shouted angrily, You have guts. House Pai won't forgive you. With that, he knelt down with a thud. Despair, deep despair. Xuanhuan really wanted to cry. Big brother, please get up. I will kneel for you. If you kneel for me, I will feel dizzy. Qing Yutong and the others were also feeling dizzy. Why did you kneel just like that? Didn't you say that Water City is very powerful? Why is it so powerful? The 2 guards yelled, House Pai won't let you go. After saying that, he also knelt down. Xuanhuan had never seen someone threaten people like this. He knelt right after saying that, not giving him any chance to explain at all. You guys are too shameless trying to frame me. Yang Haoyan secretly looked at Qing Yutong. What should I do? Qing Yutong threw a glance at him. You can do whatever you want. Hero. Why do you have to kneel for him? He is a pervert. Kaiyun asked in confusion. Didn't he just threaten you a little? Pippi looked at Kaiyun. Such a cute girl. But to lose face in front of such a cute girl, it was really a stain on life. This girl kneel. Not scary. Death is the scariest. Yang Haoyan, the 5 women were all stunned. Fuck. You're the only one who can talk about kneeling in such a dignified manner. You actually can't find any rebuttal. As expected, you are very mischievous. Is everyone in House Pi so mischievous? Pippi said seriously again, my father taught me that as a man you must be able to kneel. One day you will be able to stand up. Big brother, you seem to have misunderstood what your father said. He was only making an example, he did not really want you to kneel. My God, how can there be such a naive person? My mother also taught me when a sword is pressed against my throat, I must not try to struggle, I must know how to be observant and act according to the situation. Everyone, your acting according to the situation is to use your mother's words to trap your father's words. Kneel? Outstanding. Yang Haoyan felt that he was already outstanding enough, but when he saw this Pippi he decided to give this outstanding to him. Actually, this young Master Pippi, we seem to have some misunderstanding. Yang Haoyan felt that something was wrong, so he had to make it clear. Pippi snorted coldly, we will not have any misunderstanding. How about we stand up first? Yang Haoyan said earnestly. Big brother, don't be like this. Pippi said in disdain, if you want me to kneel, I will kneel. If you want me to stand, I will stand. Wouldn't I, Pippi, have no face? Big brother, you already have no face right now. Yang Haoyan wanted to cry in his heart, this is truly too stubborn. Hero, he asked you to stand up, hurry up and stand up. Qing Yutong hurriedly shouted out, bring out your heroic spirit. Pippi felt that his image was already gone, so he shook his head. Today I am unable to save the ladies, it is I, Pippi, who is incompetent, I, Pippi, am willing to die as an apology. Don't say any more, I will return the sword to you if you continue to point at me. Yang Haoyan could not take it any more and immediately threw the sword onto the ground. However, Pippi sneered, I, the son of Pi family, do not accept the kindness of the enemy. Everyone, do not accept. My God, why don't you accept it? Brett felt that his view of the world had been refreshed. What a weirdo, mischievous to death. Then can I kneel in front of you, I beg you to accept it, okay? Yang Haoyan felt Yi Zizi's killing intent, and immediately kneeled towards Pippi. The 2 men kneeled towards each other. Why does it feel like they are going through the ceremony of marriage, the part where the husband and wife bow to each other? Hero, hurry up and take out the sword, our lives are all in your hands. Yuhua was anxious and shouted towards Pippi, she had never seen such an upright and plain-spoken person before. However, Pippi still did not take out the sword in his hand and even said proudly, I, the son of Pi family, even if I have to kneel and die, I will not fall for the tricks of vile people. Miss, I am sorry. Yuhua really wanted to take out the sword and cut open this Pippi's brain, just what is inside bubbles. However, Yang Haoyan said in surprise, Big brother, what kind of scheme did I use? Baidu search 881 Chinese website yen. No advertising words. Chapter 891. Omega choking with sobs. Novel, you smeared poison on the blade. Do you think I don't know? Pi had a look of I knew it all along on his face. Don't think I'll believe you just because you're like this unless you lick me. Hearing Pippi's words, the 5 women's jaws almost dropped to the ground. Was this Water City's IQ? Couldn't he be more serious? Yang Haoyan was very angry, why did this guy not believe him? Then I'll give you another bite. Yang Haoyan picked up the sword. The 5 women, if you dare to lick it once, I'll admit it. Pippi said in a low voice. Alright, I'll show you. Zilliu, this Yang Haoyan was really disgusting. It was as if he was eating skewers. Was there a need to lick him from top to bottom? Was he being too serious? This should be enough, right? Yang Haoyan said indignantly. I, Do Zun, have already licked him. If you still don't believe me, I will open the ladle for you. Pippi suddenly nodded. Yes, I believe in your sincerity. As soon as he said this, Yang Haoyan suddenly had a bad feeling and retreated. Qing Yutong and the others were also a little confused. What is going on? Yang Haoyan's face turned green. He pointed at the blade on the ground and said, It's poisonous. Pippi smiled proudly and picked up the sword beside him. He stood up and said, My father also said that a man should use his brain to defeat his opponent. You cheated? Yang Haoyan felt his body stiffening. This was probably a hard poison. Xuanhuan sheathed his sword and chuckled. My mother once said that the winner is king and the loser is a bandit. You can only blame yourself for being too stupid. You. Qing Yutong and the others also didn't expect that after going in such a big circle, he would suddenly make a counterattack. Is this leather horse really smart, or is he pretending to be smart? Yang Haoyan's body was already stiff, and he was even looking at Qing Yutong with a pleading gaze. Boss, save me. Qing Yutong directly ignored it and finally entered into the normal storyline mode. Hero, thank you for saving us, if not, we would have been tainted by this bastard. Qing Yutong said with incomparable gratefulness. When Pippi heard this voice, he felt as if the world had become clear. It was as if the person who had just knelt down wasn't him. Perhaps what he did was not embarrassing himself at all. It was all normal operations. You don't have to be so polite. Leather was just helping out when I saw injustice on the road. I'm sorry to have startled you. Leather appeared to be very polite. He even bowed to express his apology in a gentlemanly manner. Yuhua felt that she had to say something as well. Hero, I have no way to repay you. When Pippi heard this, he became excited. After all, the latter part of this sentence was very tempting. Usually they would devote their lives to him. This woman was really beautiful. Her skin was so white, even whiter than the women in Water City. How did she maintain her skin? If you really want to marry him, House Pai's son wouldn't mind. I can only thank you for saving my life. Of course, Yuhua wouldn't say those words. She already had a husband, it was just an act. Pippi looked disappointed. This was not what he wanted to hear, but he still said, Miss, you are too polite. It was nothing. After saying this, Pippi didn't know what else to say. He could only signal his guards to capture this perverted thief. Although Yang Haoyan's body was stiff, he could still speak. You guys saved me. At least I bought clothes for you guys. Yang Haoyan was very depressed. If I am captured and brought to Water City, I will be done for. At this time, Brett suddenly said, Hero, can you bring us ashore? After hearing that, Pippi was a little depressed. At any rate, I am your savior. Miss, do you want to stay and have a meal with us? Pippi invited. Qing Yutong let out a breath of relief. Fortunately, Brett knows how to speak. That's not good. This man also said the same thing at the start, but he tricked us into coming here. What if you are the same? Kai Yun pouted and said. That cute look really made people want to commit a crime. Pippi patted his chest and shouted, How can the son of House Pai be the same as this kind of animal? You guys can rest assured. Yang Haoyan even had the heart to die. I am an emperor. An emperor who has a red packet system. How did I become an animal? This is all their scheme. This is simply a huge loss, a huge loss. Not only did I not get the red packet, I even have to bear the name of this animal. The 5 women did not immediately agree, and a fearful look appeared on their faces. Pippi felt that it was natural. After being tricked once, they would definitely be on guard. Our Water City scenery is exceptionally beautiful, you guys will definitely like it. Pippi said again. Yizizi asked curiously, Really? Of course it's true. You guys can ride on a seahorse and travel around the underwater world. Pippi decided to break through from Yizizi. Little girls are easy to trick. Yizizi pulled onto Qing Yutong's sleeve. Big sister, how about we go and take a look? Qing Yutong still had a hesitant look on her face. Miss, I, the son of House Pai, can definitely guarantee your safety. Then let's go and take a look. Yuhua also said softly with a trace of embarrassment. Seeing that there was hope, Pippi hurriedly said, My House Pai is one of the 3 big families in Water City, you guys don't have to be afraid. Alright then, if you dare to do that to us, we won't let you off even if we become ghosts. Qing Yutong warned, but she did not have the slightest bit of strength. However, Pippi liked this kind of girl. Although she did not have any strength, she had her own persistence. Compared to those girls who threw themselves at him, she was much better. Seeing that the beautiful girls had agreed, Pippi became happy in his heart. He immediately turned his head and shouted, Throw this person into the prison and await punishment. I'm being wrongly accused. Save me. Yang Haoyan was in despair, then was brought into the water by 2 guards. Girls, you guys will definitely like Water City. Yang Haoyan said with a slight smile. He stretched out his hand and waved it lightly. Qing Yutong and the others immediately felt a surge of power on their bodies. Pippi explained, This magic can allow you guys to breathe freely underwater. Qing Yutong nodded her head. Pippi whistled towards the surface of the sea. Not long after, the surface of the sea began to churn, and a huge turtle could be seen floating on the surface of the sea. Girls, don't be afraid, please follow me. Pippi said with a slight smile. He was a sunny young man. If he did not kneel down just now, he would indeed be very handsome. The 5 of them stood on the back of the turtle and gradually sank into the water. To be honest, Qin Yutong and the others were a bit curious about the underwater world. They had never come into contact with it before. This time, on one hand, they were here to cause trouble, on the other hand, they were here to take a look at the underwater world. As the huge turtle dived, everyone did not feel any discomfort. On the other hand, the surrounding scenery was very attractive. Baidu search 881 Chinese website yen. No advertisement. Chapter 892. Omega choking with sobs. Novel. There were a lot of creatures under the water, and they were also very peculiar, causing Qin Yutong and the others to exclaim in admiration. This place was much more beautiful than the animal world. The creatures also began to grow in size. There were ironhead fish that were hundreds of feet long, and there were even ferocious beasts that were hundreds of feet long. However, when they saw the skin, they avoided it. Their ferocious appearance was quite frightening. Apart from the enormous vicious beasts, there were also many cute little creatures that emitted all kinds of light, illuminating the dark seabed. It was truly beautiful. However, everyone was still diving down and their speed was not very fast. This was done on purpose to let these beauties enjoy the scenery, and when the time came, they would not be able to leave. Why is there a layer of clouds down here? Kai Yun asked curiously. Not far below, there was a layer of cloud-like thing floating. Pippi carefully explained, after passing through this barrier, we will reach Water City. So this mist is a barrier, no wonder. As the giant tortoise pierced through the clouds, a dazzling world appeared before everyone's eyes. This. Qin Yutong muttered. Yu Hua and Brett were also a little confused, while Kai Yun and Yi Zizi had joyous expressions on their faces. The entire city was glowing brightly, and countless underwater creatures were shuttling back and forth. Was that building serious? The style of the building was completely out of tune with the outside world. Are you curious about the architecture here? Pippi smiled. That's right, why are the buildings here so strange? Qin Yutong asked curiously. Pippi stood with his hands clasped behind his back and said in a low voice, we have to start from our ancestors. It's a long story. In any case, they were the ones who did it. After hearing that, Qin Yutong had a thought. Their ancestors definitely came from another world because the buildings in this place had a kind of advanced design just like the future. Especially that hourglass-like building, this kind of design is not something that an ordinary person would be able to think of. Hero, how big is this water city? Yu Hua asked curiously. That includes the entire Sea of Innocence. Wouldn't that mean that it would be bigger than any other power? Bigger than even Wushu Empire? The giant tortoise floated above the city. After the 5 of them came down, a guard brought 5 seahorses over. This seahorse was quite cute and it gave off a faint golden glow. The 5 women immediately rode on it, feeling that it was very novel. Leather led the way in front, causing the surrounding people to be extremely curious. Wow, look, General Pai actually brought. He brought such a beautiful woman into the city. Yeah, these 5 women are so beautiful. The older ones are beautiful and the younger ones are cute. General Pai is really lucky this time. Of course, Pippi also heard the envious voices around him. He felt a little proud in his heart. Bringing such a beautiful woman with him would give him face wherever he went. Qin Yutong nudged against Brett, who was at the side, then looked at the things on the city wall. Ken and Brett also felt that it was similar. Although his appearance had changed, he still gave off a sense of deterrence. Hero, what is that on top of the city wall? Qin Yutong asked curiously. Oh, that is called a star cannon. Even a Dozun has to be careful. Speaking of this, Pippi felt proud. As a member of Water City, he felt a sense of accomplishment. Is it that powerful? Kai Yun asked curiously as if he wanted to test out its might. Pippi smiled proudly. Of course, this is something left behind by the ancestors of Water City. Qin Yutong dared to guarantee that the ancestors of this Water City definitely came from another world. However, why did they not go to the land and instead came to the water? This made them curious. After passing through the city gate made of crystal, there was basically no passageway here. All the passageways were made by creatures sitting on the water. Brett felt that this place was very similar to Blue Blaze Star, at least the pattern was very similar. The passageway is below. Pippi seemed to know the doubts of the 5 women and said casually. Qin Yutong looked down. Indeed. However, the 5 women discovered that this city had a festive atmosphere, as if some kind of celebration was being held. Hero, why is there a red cloth hanging on every house? Yu Hua asked curiously. Oh, Bao family is looking for a son-in-law. Pippi said indifferently. It seemed like he did not have a good impression of this Bao family. Bao family? Yi Zizi asked curiously. This Bao family is also one of the three big families of Water City. There is also a Kong family. Qing Yutong and the others finally understood. Pai, Bao, and Kong family controlled the entire Water City. How can they cause trouble like that? It seems like they can only use their looks to cause trouble. Pippi had his own mansion, which was very luxurious. It seems like Pippi's position in Pai family was not low. At the very least, he was a powerful existence among the younger generation. 5 ladies, do you want to take a rest first? Take a rest? Take a rest my ass, we are here to cause trouble. If we are going to take a rest, what kind of trouble is there to cause? No need, hero, your mansion looks very big. Kai Yun ran around, appearing very happy. Yu Hua followed behind him and took care of Kai Yun. Don't call me hero, I really don't dare to, just call me Pippi will do. However, just after Pippi finished speaking, 2 figures descended from the sky. Third brother, I heard that you brought back 5 beauties as your big brothers. I immediately came over to check on you. The 2 men looked very similar to Pippi, just that the smile on their faces was a bit bad, as if they were suppressing someone. The one who spoke just now was the second brother, Pai Guanghui, and the one who stood at the side was the eldest brother, Pai Ching. Fortunately, Qing Yutong did not go to rest just now, otherwise she would have missed this opportunity. And when Pai Ching and Pai Guanghui saw Qing Yutong and the others, both of them revealed a shocked expression. As expected, they are very beautiful, it is really impossible to describe with words. How did third brother manage to meet these kind of women, and even brought all of them home? Do you really not know how many to give to your big brothers? Are you able to handle all 5 of them together? Pippi looked at his big brother and second brother, and the smile that was originally on his face instantly disappeared. These 2 had always been making fun of him since he was young, although it was just a small matter, he was still very unhappy about it, and would often complain about it in front of his father and mother. Big brother, second brother. But no matter how much he disliked them, he still had to call them, this was a matter of etiquette. Third brother, aren't you going to introduce them to us? Big brother Pai Ching said with a slight smile, showing that he was very well behaved. But as long as one knew Pai family's eldest young master and second young master, they were nothing more than 2 playboys. Pippi said with a slight smile, these 5 ladies are my third brother's guests. So they are guests, I thought they were third brother's beauties. Pai Guanghui laughed, then walked into the house with Pai Ching. Observing them from a close distance, they are even more beautiful. This third brother's luck is really good, to be able to encounter such a thing while he was out patrolling. If I had known earlier, I would have also gone to try my luck with beauties. Baidu search 881 Chinese website yen. No advertisement. Chapter 893. Omega choking with sobs. Novel Qing Yutong and the others immediately stood behind Leather Horse, and they had a very scared look on their faces. However, this pitiful look made Pai Ching and Pai Guanghui even more excited. This woman, only when she was weak did she feel the best. Big brother, second brother, don't scare my guests. Pai said in a deep voice, his face gradually darkened. It was fine if you guys caused trouble in the past, but now they were my guests. If you dare to touch them, then don't blame me for not showing mercy. Pai, how can you speak to big brother and second brother like that? You really don't understand etiquette. Pai Guanghui reprimanded. You really don't understand the rules. You want to monopolize such a beauty? How could this be? Qing Yutong, who was hiding at the back, secretly had a naughty smile on her face. From the looks of it, we are all femme fatale, no matter where we go, we will be able to bring about calamity. Only a man like brother-in-law would be able to handle it. Big brother, second brother, there are guests at home today, so I won't entertain you too. Third brother, look at what you're saying. We're all family, so why are you talking about taking care of them? Pai Ching smiled and took a few steps forward. Qing Yutong and the others were so scared that they started trembling. Pai stood in front of the 5 women and shouted, Big brother, that's enough. Pai, don't be like this, big brother doesn't have any evil intentions. Pai Ching looked at Qing Yutong and the others and revealed out a smirk. The more he looked at her, the more beautiful she became. She was much better than those women in Watertown. The women of Kangluo continent were indeed different. He really wanted to go out and experience the outside world, but unfortunately the rules were set. The people of Water City were not allowed to step onto land. Pai Guanghui smiled and said, It's your first time in Water City after all. Now that the Bao family has found a son-in-law, we should go and have a drink. Why don't we go together? Second brother, you don't have to worry about it. When the time comes, we will naturally go. Third brother, the more people there are, the livelier it is. Could it be that you want to lock them up at home and do something? Pai Cheng's words caused Qing Yutong and the others to go into a daze for a moment, then immediately revealed an expression of fear. Pippi felt that these two brothers were really good at stirring up trouble. Pai Cheng and Pai Guanghui also saw the five women's expressions. It seemed like they did not completely trust their brother, which was a good thing. Miss, why don't we go and play together? It's also very stuffy here, Pai Cheng suggested. Qing Yutong and the others hesitated. Pippi knew that he couldn't force them to stay, so he said in a deep voice, "All right then, let's go have a drink together." "Ladies please," Pai Cheng said with a frivolous smile. He seemed to be very polite. However, the viciousness in his words was not revealed. Qing Yutong and the others also did not refuse, and went to take a look at what that Bao family was like. The sea dragon carriages outside were all ready. It seemed like they had come prepared. Qing Yutong and the others got on the carriage and the three brothers rode on the seahorse at the front. At this time Yuehua whispered, "Yang Haoyin won't be killed, right?" "Yuehua, you can rest assured. That Yang Haoyin is at the very least a dozun. How can he be killed so easily?" Kai Yun was very reassured. When the time came to leave he would go and rescue Yang Haoyin from prison. Thinking of this, Kai Yun suddenly had an idea, and then he waved his hand. "Aren't the people of this water city not allowed to go ashore? How about we get them ashore?" Kai Yun suggested in a low voice. That was a good idea. "How do we get them ashore?" Yi Zizi asked in a low voice. "Kill them," Brett said calmly. Qing Yutong and Yuehua nodded. Only hatred could force the people of Water City out. The troublemaking team began to concoct a plan. How should they draw this hatred? The Bao family was relatively far away. However, in one of the Bao family's rooms, a man wearing a red groom's attire sat at a table, his face brimming with smiles. In truth, this man could be considered an old acquaintance. Qi Shuwen, who possessed the divine dragon system. A few months ago, Qi Shuwen hadn't been in Water City. However, he needed a vast sea to eat, so he came to the Sea of Innocence. By a freak combination of factors, he ended up in Water City. Then, a traditional hero came to save the Bao family's eldest daughter, Abalone Yu. In the beginning, Qi Shuwen didn't think much of it. Although she was a rare beauty, Qi Shuwen's focus was still on cultivation and gathering draconic qi. However, Abalone Yu took a fancy to Qi Shuwen. She followed him around every day and gradually Qi Shuwen figured out Abalone Yu's background. She was actually the daughter of one of the three great clans of Water City, the Bao family. Furthermore, she was the eldest daughter. If he didn't take advantage of such a resource, he'd be a huge idiot. Water City was simply too rich in resources. It was practically built for him. He could hide here and quietly become a supreme. When the time came, he could summon clouds and rain with a flip of his hand. How wonderful would that be? Qi Shuwen pushed open the door and walked out onto the balcony. This was the tallest building in the entire region. With a single glance, he could see everything. This feeling. It was like she was holding everyone's fate in her hands. This was a feeling he'd never felt before. At that moment, Qi Shuwen couldn't help but think back to the events of the past, the North-South martial arts competition. That empress held everyone's lives in her hands. Even he was the same. If she wanted someone dead, that person would die. That feeling was exactly what he'd been yearning for. But now, Qi Shuwen spread his hands and clenched them. He was slowly beginning to master them. Looking at the entire Water City celebrating for him, he felt so good. "Son-in-law, everything's ready," the maid's voice rang out from outside. Qi Shuwen took a deep breath. What's so bad about being a live-in son-in-law? As long as he got what he wanted. As long as the system was still around, there would be a day where he would achieve meteoric success. Walking out of the room, Qi Shuwen revealed a brilliant smile. This smile came from the bottom of his heart. Everything that he had today was not easy to come by. Water City's wedding didn't have that many customs, and it even had a hint of being ahead of the times. All of these customs came from the old ancestor. Even Qi Shuwen felt that the old ancestor of Water City should be someone from the modern era, and not someone from the future. Looking at the way the banquet was being held, with a few hundred tables and the entire restaurant being booked, Bao family was just that awesome. At this time, Qing Yutong and the others arrived as well. However, they completely didn't know that they were going to meet their acquaintances later on. However, Qi Shuwen didn't want to see Qing Yutong and the others at all, because that would make Qi Shuwen feel that he wasn't the main character, and was only a supporting character among the main characters. Who would be willing to be a supporting character? Everyone wanted to be the main character. This Bao family is truly rich and overbearing. Pai Ching muttered. Pai said indifferently, "You speak as if our family doesn't have any money." Pai Guanghui patted on Pai Pai's shoulder. Third brother, money is not easy to come by. As the guardian family of Water City, we have to set an example. Look at this Bao family, they are spending so much money just to hold a wedding. Baidu search 881 Chinese website yen. No advertising words. Chapter 894. But I heard that Bao family's son-in-law is quite talented. Pai Ching said faintly he wanted to meet him. Pai Guanghui didn't think so. How strong can the son-in-law be? He's just a gigolo. Pai Pai remained silent, he didn't want to discuss this matter at all. He originally planned to eat alone with the 5 beauties but in the end, that abalone, she is still a beauty of our Water City, but she was actually married by an outsider, so embarrassing. Pai Guanghui pouted his mouth. If he said he didn't have any thoughts about abalone, that would be a lie. Who didn't love beauties? Pai Ching also didn't say anything. The group of people arrived at the restaurant, and it immediately caused a commotion. The 3 brothers of Pai family are here, what a rare sight. That's right, I heard that the 3 brothers don't get along. Why did they appear together today? This rumor really can't be believed. Who's sitting in the car behind them? Who else can it be? It's definitely a woman. Just when everyone was guessing who was inside, Qin Yutong and the others began to walk down one after another. The surroundings became quiet. The 3 brothers of Pai family immediately felt that they had gained face. Look at all these men, they were all stunned by their beauty. This is what women are. That abalone is nothing, even in front of them he still has to feel inferior. The appearance of Qin Yutong and the others indeed caused a shocking effect. They were all beauties that could cause trouble. My God. The 3 brothers of Pai family actually brought such a woman over. Don't ask me why, they are definitely here to cause trouble. Is there even a need to say, abalone is already a beauty, and now there is an even more beautiful one, even the bride's beauty is inferior. Where did the 3 brothers of Pai family find such a beauty? If it was in Water City, it would have already been spread around. Maybe it's from outside. Everyone spoke one after another, all of their gazes were on Qin Yutong and the others. There were quite a lot of gazes on Brett, after all his body was too hot. Yuhua was also the same, they were both mature and tall women. And some of the uncles' gazes were on Yi Zizi and Kai Yun, 2 lowless, grabbing onto those 2 ponytails was like crazy. Be careful of the stairs. Pai Pai said softly. And thank you. Yuhua was still very polite. Seeing this, Pai Cheng and Pai Guanghui also started to give instructions. This scene made everyone realize one thing, the 3 brothers of House Pai hadn't gotten their hands on her yet, but they thought they had. Yo. Isn't that the 3 brothers of House Pai? 2 sea dragons surged forward, creating a wave. 2 men came down from the dragon's back. Pai Cheng looked on coldly. Not only Pai Cheng but also Pai Guanghui and Pai Bu. These 2 were from the Kong clan. They were also the 2 most outstanding young men. Eldest brother Kong Hong and 5th brother Kong Tai. The 2 of them looked very similar. They were brothers born from the same mother. He was the kind of man with elegant demeanor. As soon as the 2 of them arrived, they were attracted by the appearance of the 5 women. He completely ignored the Pai brothers. But Kong Hong and Kong Tai were not so impatient. They slowly walked over and said with a smile, "Young lady is really beautiful, I wonder if we could know young lady's name?" Kong Hong. What do you mean? Pai Ching shouted coldly. It wasn't a matter of whether they were women or not, these 2 were here to lose face. Although the 3 brothers of House Pai didn't get along with each other, this was an internal problem. When someone came to provoke them, it was better for them to unite against the external enemy. Kong Hong didn't show any anger on his face, while Kong Tai said indifferently, "A graceful lady is a gentleman's desire, with such a beauty by the side, how could we ignore her? That would be disrespect to the young lady." Pai Pai's face darkened. "Kong Tai, stop talking here, this has nothing to do with you." After saying that he said to Qin Yutong, "Let's go in first." Qin Yutong's face showed signs of struggle, as expected of a movie queen. Kong Tai caught it very well. "Pai Pai, the other lady seems to be unwilling, are you threatening them?" "5th brother, you're right young lady, are they threatening you?" Kong Hong's face gradually became cold, and a murderous aura instantly spread out. At that moment, the 5 women immediately hugged each other. That pitiful look made it seem as if they were being threatened by everyone. Actually, they were laughing in their hearts as expected, looks could make them cause trouble. The 3 brothers of House Pai weren't cowards, the power of a Do Zun was instantly unleashed. Just like that, the atmosphere had already frozen to the extreme, and the people who were watching the show all dispersed. House Pai and House Kong were going to fight, and they were going to fight over women. Everyone, let's talk this out." An elegant man walked out from the restaurant. He didn't look very handsome, but his eyes were very strange. This was the eldest son of House Baopa. Baopa, who walked out, saw Qing Yutong and the others. As if he had already guessed something, it was normal for a hot-blooded young man like him to fight over a woman. Baopa was slightly older and his strength was slightly stronger, so the 5 men would give him some face. The 5 of them retracted their aura, and the surrounding seawater became calm again. Some people were even unable to breathe due to the pressure. Today is my sister's wedding day. I don't want to see a fight, or else don't blame me for not giving you face. Baopa's tone was filled with warning. But right now, Qing Yutong really wanted to slap this man to death. They were clearly going to fight, but he really appeared at the right time. Brother Bao, it's not us 2 brothers being unreasonable, it's just that the 3 brothers of House Pai are bullying someone else's lady, Kong Tai said with his hands behind his back. After all, this was House Bao's wedding day. Causing trouble was indeed not giving them face. Bao Pa looked at Pai Ching. Is there such a thing? Pai Ching said indifferently, 9 out of 10 of Kong Tai's words are lies, and one of them is bullshit. Pai Ching, do you believe that I won't kill you right now? Kong Tai shouted. His right hand was already on his sword. Kong Hong pressed his brother's hand and said indifferently, Pai Ching, I think that you 3 brothers are really itching for a beating. What, you really want to fight? Do you think that I, Pai Guanghui, will be afraid of you? Kong Hong let go of his brother's hand, his gaze gradually darkened. Since you want to fight, why don't we go to Deep Sea Arena to play after the wedding? Okay. Pai immediately agreed. Qing Yutong and the others felt that this is good. I didn't even say anything, I just made a few expressions and these people are already going to start fighting. Baopa was also unable to stop them and said indifferently with a smile, everyone come in and drink a cup of wedding wine to calm down, and ladies, enjoy the festive atmosphere. Baopa's words were still pleasant to listen to. Qing Yutong and the others continued to follow behind Pai, but the Kong brothers also joined in. Chapter 895. They also noticed a problem. These 5 women seemed to be not familiar with the Pai brothers. That makes things easier. When a woman's appearance reached a certain level, it could indeed cause people to go crazy. It was not a groundless rumor that one would rather have a woman than a country. Qing Yutong and the others were protected like rare animals. Then they walked into a transparent crystal bubble. At the start I thought it was something, but I didn't expect. This is an elevator using water pressure to reach the desired floor. The old ancestor of Water Castle is definitely an alien. The group of people came to the top floor, and everyone here were influential people in Water Castle. However, the elders of Pai and Kong family did not come. The relationship between the 3 families was not as good as one would imagine. Usually they would only let the younger generation participate. It was considered giving face. The appearance of Qing Yutong and the others also caused silence. When the influential men in Water Castle saw Qing Yutong and the others, they all revealed the same kind of gaze, and that was a kind of greed. This kind of woman can only be hidden and cannot be seen by others. To be honest, these 5 women rarely appeared in front of the public. They were basically otakus, especially now that they appeared together. This kind of scene can only be seen during Yihua's meeting. This is the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. That's right, this old man has also seen countless women. That girl is too cute. That's right, especially that ponytail. There is also that cold-eyed tall woman. These are 5 women with different personalities. My god, this is too cool. It is simply a visual impact. Everyone was discussing, and Qing Yutong accepted such gazes. It was the same when she was a celebrity in the past. On the other hand, Yi Zizi was very unhappy. I really want to suck these people to death. Brett was also unhappy. Kai Yun and Yu Hua were still fine. Because of the protection of the Pai and Kong family's young masters, some people did not dare to act recklessly. Everyone, I won't be greeting you, do as you please. Bao Pa said faintly, then went to arrange other matters. After all, it was his little sister's wedding. Miss, sit here. Kong Tai pulled out a chair and Brett sat down without being polite. The others also learned from Kong Tai, pulled out the chair and let the beauty sit down. 5 men, just right for 5 women. A table of 10 people. Pai Pa felt that he had suffered a loss, the kind of loss. He was clearly the one who discovered it, so how did things turn out like this? It shouldn't be like this. He was the hero who saved them. But now, he felt that he was going to explode from anger. The weddings in this place sure are strange. Qing Yutong said curiously. To outsiders it was better to act a bit strange. Kong Hong chuckled and said, this is a rule set by Water City. It is indeed very different from the outside world. I see. Qing Yutong nodded her head. Suddenly a person appeared. Everyone stood up and bowed their heads slightly. Even the 5 young masters were the same. Who is he? Yizi asked in a childish voice. Pai Ching said in a low voice, "This is the head of the Bao family, Bao Ci." Yi Zizi nodded her head. "So that's how it is, he is the family head. No wonder he has the strength of an overlord." He was indeed powerful. However, he was unfamiliar with this supreme being. He had never seen him in that battle back then. It seemed like he had not participated in it. "Is it very powerful?" Kai Yun asked with a childish tone. Pippi said in a low voice, "Of course he is, Supreme Zun." "Then he is truly powerful. This is the first time that I have seen a living Supreme Zun." Brett muttered. Brett wasn't lying. The Supreme Zun that he had seen in the past were basically all dead, and this Supreme Zun was indeed a living Supreme Zun. Pai Guanghui said in a low voice, "Young lady, speak softly. If you were to be heard by others, it would bring you a fatal disaster." Brett didn't speak anymore. In her heart, she scolded the bunch of cowards with such guts. "You guys still dare to come and flirt with me?" Bao Ci had the appearance of a middle-aged man, but who knows how long he had lived. His strength had already reached the level of overlord, and he could transform into whatever he wanted. He could even transform into a woman. Standing on the main stage, Bao Ci's expression was deep. Then he said, "Today is the wedding of my daughter, Xuanhuan. If everyone can drink to their heart's content, that would be giving me Bao Ci face." Xuanhuan? Qing Yutong felt that this name was familiar. I seem to have heard it somewhere before. However, I couldn't remember where I heard it before. The other four women didn't know Xuanhuan, and only Qing Yutong had seen him before. This Bao Ci's opening speech could be said to be very simple. With just this one sentence he disappeared from where he was. "In any case, it is your daughter's wedding and you are leaving just like that? This is a bit too hasty." Right now, it was Bao Po's turn to take charge of the overall situation. "Let's welcome the bride and groom into the venue," Bao Po shouted with a joyous tone. A red carpet appeared in the center of the venue, extending all the way to the door and floating in the air. A gigantic seahorse appeared not far away, and the scales on the seahorse's body emitted a bright red light, illuminating the entire underwater area. A dragon's roar suddenly rang out, and everyone could be seen clapping. No matter if they were participating in the wedding or not, it was all the same. Even the people in the city were no exception, and they all gave their blessings. Under normal circumstances, such a gigantic life form was not allowed to enter the city, but today was a special day. Therefore, the gigantic seahorse came. Behind the seahorse, there was an exquisite wedding carriage. There were all kinds of water life forms decorating the carriage, and the carriage was filled with warmth and romance. As the seahorse stopped, a man walked down from the wedding carriage. The man was wearing a red wedding robe. After the man walked down from the wedding carriage, the man stretched out his arm. A spotlessly white arm that was like a lotus root stretched out and placed onto the man's palm. This arm was naturally Xuanhuan and Abalone. Abalone did not have any red veil on her head, and she was also wearing a wedding robe. Along with the wedding robe that Xuanhuan was wearing, the wedding robe formed a gorgeous color, causing people to exclaim in admiration at the craftsmanship of the wedding robe. Xuanhuan looked at his wife. The more he looked at her, the more he liked her. "She has both looks and talent. She is indeed worthy of me, Xuanhuan." "Husband," Abalone called out lightly. Xuanhuan came back to his senses and said with a slight smile, "Sharky, you are too beautiful." I became absent-minded for a moment. Abalone shyly lowered her head and lightly bit onto her lips. Husband really knows how to speak. The two held hands and tightly held onto each other as they walked on the red carpet, heading towards the banquet hall on the top floor. At this moment, Qing Yutong's system suddenly sounded out. "Master, a system user has appeared." "Oh, it is this groom. He is a system user. Why do I feel that I have seen him somewhere before?" Qing Yutong tried to recall in her mind, but she was unable to recall where she saw him. "What kind of system is he?" Qing Yutong asked curiously. "Master, he is a devouring system, commonly known as the Dragon God system. Through devouring, he collects dragon chi and strengthens himself." Chapter 896. "Oh, so that's how it is. It sounds like it is very powerful." Qing Yutong pouted her mouth. "Seems like there is only that kind of thing, right? Poking it to death with a single finger. Of course it can't be compared to Master's system. Master's system is the most awesome existence in the system world." Qing Yutong laughed. "Will you die if you don't brag about yourself?" The system didn't say anything. This feeling of being pretentious was great. It could know the surrounding systems. Very soon, Xuanhuan entered the venue while holding on to Abalone. The clapping of these 5 young masters was listless, but the others were clapping with all their might, as if they had a grudge against their palms. Didn't it hurt? Even if he wanted to curry favor, this was too exaggerated. Xuanhuan held his head high and chest out, holding the hand of the woman beside him as if he was announcing something. However, it was also the women around him that made him who he was. If he lost the women around him, Xuanhuan would be nothing. He would still be the person who obtained dragon energy by devouring living creatures. Xuanhuan understood what these people were thinking. So what? So what? When I reach the ranks of supreme martial artists, even if I don't have a woman by my side, you will still have to respect me. At that time I, Xuanhuan, will be able to cover the sky with one hand. Just as Xuanhuan was shouting in his heart, he was attracted by the 5 faces. The thought of covering the sky with one hand instantly disappeared. Although he didn't recognize a few of the faces, Yuhua recognized these 2 faces. He had also seen it on television back then. Although Voidless Realm didn't cause any trouble in the end, that was because Voidless Realm definitely subdued those people. That was to say, Voidless Realm has also come to Kangluo continent. How was this possible? Impossible. Why does Voidless Realm have to follow me wherever I, Xuanhuan, go? Do you all still want face? They even chased him all the way here. What do you want me, Xuanhuan, to do? Continue running? I've already run to the Kangluo continent. Where else do you want me to go? I didn't even go to land and hid in this water city, but I was still found by you. Damn it. Husband. Seeing that her husband was in a daze, Abalone called out softly. However, following her husband's line of sight, Abaoyuyu saw 5 beauties, and she finally knew the reason why her husband was absent-minded. Because he saw another beauty. Abalone Fish's expression instantly turned ugly. Her own wedding. Her husband was actually staring at another woman. Where would he put his face? Suppressing the anger in her heart, Baoyu called out in a low voice, "Husband!" Xuanhuan didn't hear Abalone, who was beside him, at all. His entire brain was buzzing because Voidless Realm had arrived. He would be suppressed again. However, in Baoyu's eyes, her husband was bewitched by other women, and they were 5 vixens. Bao Pe, who was presiding over the wedding, also gradually became gloomy. In fact, Bao Pe didn't agree to this wedding at first, but he couldn't resist his sister's pleading and insisted on marrying no one but him. After all, Abalone was the beloved daughter of the entire Bao family. Xuanhuan was also a refined person, so he could be considered a good match. But, now, how dare he stare at another woman in a daze during a wedding? This was rubbing the Bao family's dignity under their feet. Look at all the guests, all of them discussing in low voices, and look at his younger sister's expression. House Pai's brothers thought that this son-in-law of House Bao was someone special, but they didn't expect him to be so mediocre. In a situation like this, he left his wife aside and looked at the beauties alone. I've seen amazing people, but I've never seen someone as amazing as you. The Kong brothers were the same. They liked beautiful women, but they also knew the situation. Moreover, you are a live-in son-in-law. If it weren't for the women around you, you wouldn't be where you are today. And you are actually staring at a woman, Sai. Are you here to be funny? Kai Yun and Yuhua were also very puzzled. Why did this man keep staring at them? Was he sick? Suddenly, Qing Yutong slapped her thigh, startling Brett, who was at the side. Qing Yutong remembered, I have seen this man before. Back then, when big sister and brother-in-law were still together, didn't they go to a fish restaurant to eat fish? Tang Wei knocked over a fish tank and the arowana fell onto the ground. He was the one who saved the fish. Speaking of which, he is Tang Wei's classmate. Why is he here? Interesting. Back then, Yihua also wanted to nurture Xuanhuan and Xen Ba into becoming his opponents. However, he felt that Xuanhuan and Xen Ba were still not good enough, and thus he decided not to bother with them anymore. If Yihua was here, he would be a little happy. After all, this Xuanhuan is starting to look like a decent person. At this moment, Pai Guanghui said with a ridiculing tone, "This son-in-law of Bao family, does he not want his wife anymore?" Along with Pai Guanghui's ridicule, the Kong brothers laughed. This kind of opportunity has to be grasped. After all, it is hard to come by. Beautiful women are indeed good-looking, but as a son-in-law of Bao family, his wife is the most important. Kong Hong said faintly. Along with the words of Pai and Kong family, Bao family's face lost all face, especially Abalone. Even now he is still staring at other people. Abalone, who was incomparably furious, immediately flung away Xuanhuan's hand. At this moment, only then did Xuanhuan react. Sharky, what's wrong? Xuanhuan asked puzzledly, not quite understanding. Since you like them, why did you marry me? Abalone questioned coldly. She indeed liked Xuanhuan because Xuanhuan was honest and never took a look at other women, unlike other men who would be unable to move their legs away when they see beautiful women. But only today did she know that this Xuanhuan was actually the same as other men. After seeing a real beautiful woman, he would also be unable to move his legs away. He didn't even know what he was doing. This is a wedding. You Xuanhuan don't care about face, but my Bao family still care about face. Along with Abaloni's words, the entire place became quiet. This sudden situation caused everyone to be shocked. Breaking off the engagement on the day of the wedding? This was something that had never happened in Water City before. It might even become the joke of the entire Water City after dinner. Sharky, it is not what you think, listen to my explanation. Xuanhuan hurriedly pulled onto Abalone. He felt that Abaloni's reaction was a bit too extreme. Just now, didn't she just become dazed for 10 seconds? But right now, I can only coax her, there is no other way. I'm not listening. I'm not listening. I'm not listening, Xuanhuan. I originally thought that this kind of situation would only happen in my original world, but I didn't expect that even the girls in Water City are the same, unreasonable. Trying to reason with a woman, are you sick? At this moment, Pai Cheng said loudly, Sharky, Brother Pai had already told you in the past, look for a man. You must not look for a man like Brother Pai, who would be stupefied when he sees a beautiful woman. You just didn't listen to Brother Pai's words and looked for a man like this. Xuanhuan was about to go berserk, but he endured it. Sharky, I'm sorry, I didn't do it on purpose. Can you forgive me this once? Chapter 897. When this sentence was said, the 5 young masters all laughed. Isn't this the funniest wedding in history? A man's wedding? You saw a beauty and you still don't want to admit it, do you still want face? There are so many people at the scene, everyone clearly saw what you did just now, and now you are actually begging for forgiveness. What is this man doing? I am looking down on you. Indeed, everyone looked down on this man. So be it, a man should dare to take responsibility for what he did, and yet he is actually begging for forgiveness in such a humble manner, trash. Even Qing Yutong felt that this man is trash, he is simply the shame of the system world. With an incomparably powerful system, he should have risen up and not become a gigolo. Look at Yang Haoyin. For the sake of the system, he even threw away his F***king face, barging into the palace in the middle of the night and playing landlord with Do Fusher and his wife. He is too daring. Compared to Yang Haoyin is indeed much better, at least he fought for the system before. And you are here begging for forgiveness from a woman, sigh. What a trash. Bao Po was also angered to the point that he couldn't speak. Previously I felt that Xuanhuan is like a man, but that sentence just now completely destroyed his image. Is this something that a man should say? He is simply not a man. Brett, Zizi, and the others all revealed a look of disdain. Everyone present revealed a look of disdain. If it was possible, they really wanted to give Zizi the middle finger. You, I love you, the kind of love that will never change even in death. Xuanhuan hurriedly explained. Why am I so unlucky? I knew that nothing good would happen when I meet them. Look, the unlucky thing happened in an instant. I didn't even say anything and I didn't even do anything and I was inexplicably messed with. If this isn't unlucky, then what is it? And now, I have no choice but to beg for forgiveness. After all, it wasn't easy for me to reach where I am today. Hearing Xuanhuan's words, Abalone said in a low voice, all right, love until death, then show me that you are dead, I will believe you. Xuanhuan, I'm just a description. Xuanhuan endured the pain in his heart and said. In the past, Abalone wasn't like this, she seemed to be very shy. Why did she suddenly seem to have changed into a different person? You really can't trust a man's words. Brother Pai is right. Abalone Fish coldly snorted. She suddenly felt that Xuanhuan was very disgusting and hypocritical. Only today did she see his true colors. She must have been blind to have fallen for such a man. Pai Ching immediately replied, Sharky, bro, Pai won't lie to you. You have to think it through. Shut up. Xuanhuan turned around and bellowed. Everyone was dumbfounded by this shout. Pai Cheng was the young master of House Pai. How could a son-in-law do something like this? How rude. Pai Cheng didn't expect that this pretty boy dared to shout at him. He simply didn't want his life. I dare you to say that again. You're not the Bao family's son-in-law now, and it's not even certain if you can become the Bao family's son-in-law. Therefore, you better be careful. Of course, Pai Cheng wouldn't let it go just like that. A little son-in-law dared to be naughty. Look at that Bao Pai, even he has to talk to me properly. Who do you think you are? Xuanhuan was also intoxicated. Those sarcastic remarks and those ear-piercing laughter were all lingering in his mind. Finally, it exploded. You're the one who should be careful. I, Xuanhuan, don't need you to care what I do. What kind of trash are you? Following Xuanhuan's words, the entire world seemed to have frozen. What was the scariest thing? The scariest thing was that even the air froze. It was a bad feeling, as if something bad was about to happen. Pai Ching was a little startled. This pretty boy was just begging a moment ago, and suddenly he turned hostile. It was as if he had changed into a different person. The Kong brothers were a little surprised as well. This Xuanhuan was really quick to turn hostile. He even dared to scold the young master of House Pai. Bao Yuyu didn't expect Xuanhuan to do this. He was a little worried. After all, it wouldn't be good if things got out of hand. Bao Pa couldn't figure out Xuanhuan. Which one was the real him? Was it the begging version or was it the dominating version? Bang. Pai Ching slammed the table and pointed at Xuanhuan. You motherfucker, say that again. Even the heavens can't save you today. Come on. My Xuanhuan's life is not under the control of the emperor. Xuanhuan suddenly became hard. It really made people speechless. Good. Bao Pa, how are you going to settle this matter? Pai Ching shouted angrily. I must definitely let him see why the color is so red today. Bao Pa naturally didn't wish for more problems to arise. He looked towards his little sister. You are the one who chose the man, you should just be more or less done with it. After making a fuss, if you really don't get married, where would father put his face? Bao Yuyu also knew that it was enough to teach him a lesson just now. In the future, don't be like this anymore. Therefore, Bao Yuyu prepared to continue holding on to Xuanhuan's hand. However, Xuanhuan angrily flung his hand away and looked at Bao Yuyu coldly, and even looked at everyone coldly. Everyone here was laughing at themselves. If there comes a day when I, Xuanhuan, become a supreme, I will slaughter the entire water city and let everyone know that I, Xuanhuan, am also a person with dignity. I won't allow anyone to trample on me. Seeing Xuanhuan flinging away Xuanhuan angrily, everyone was shocked once again. Even Xuanhuan was shocked. Not only Xuanhuan. Even Qing Yutong couldn't understand what was going on. Just what kind of person is this? Originally, you asked others to forgive you, and now that others have forgiven you, you flung away your hand. What is the meaning of this? Don't understand, Xuanhuan shouted out gravely. Let me tell you all. I, Xuanhuan, also have dignity. Don't think that after I, Xuanhuan, leave anyone, I, Xuanhuan, will become poor and dejected. When I rise up, you all are not worthy of me. Today's marriage. I, Xuanhuan, am not going to accompany you anymore. Bao Yuyu, since you don't believe me, then let's forget about it. Today I am not worthy of your Bao family. Tomorrow, perhaps, you will not be able to climb up to me. Facing Xuanhuan's words, everyone expressed their doubts. Who doesn't know how to talk? Who doesn't know how to act cool? Do you think that becoming a supreme is a joke? Youngsters just like to brag, sigh. He must have definitely gone mad from anger. However, Qing Yutong believed in Xuanhuan's words. With the system's assistance, becoming a supreme is only a matter of time. In the future they will indeed not be able to climb up to Xuanhuan. Bao Pa shouted out coldly, Xuanhuan, don't be so shameless. Do you know what the consequences will be? Consequences? That is still better than standing here and receiving your insults. Bao Yuyu, today you have let me see clearly. Looking at Xuanhuan's angry shout and that cold and detached expression in his eyes, Xuanhuan seemed to have returned to the time when he first met Xuanhuan. Back then, Xuanhuan also felt that Xuanhuan was special, and thus Xuanhuan continued to interact with Xuanhuan, and slowly Xuanhuan became attracted to Xuanhuan. Chapter 898. Omega 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 Omega, choking with sobs. Novel, but when he was dumped just now he felt his heart ache. Especially when he heard these words, he seemed to have difficulty breathing. My husband, I know I was wrong. I was just jealous just now. I really didn't mean to do that. Bao Yuyu hurriedly walked to Xuanhuan's side, grabbed Xuanhuan's arm with both hands and pleaded in a low voice. Kong Tai snorted coldly, if you have the ability, then continue to be stubborn. If you weren't the Bao family's son-in-law, I wouldn't let you leave Water City alive. Not only will you not be able to walk out of Water City, I won't even let you find a piece of your corpse. Pai Guanghui slammed the table and shouted. He was simply a daring gigolo. Who did he think he was? He couldn't even reach out to him. Who does he think he is? On the other hand, Qing Yutong was very happy to see such a situation. I didn't expect that I would encounter such a thing the moment I came over. It would be the best if a fight can break out. However, there was no need to say anything. She just had to act pitiful to gain sympathy. Look at Brett, she's already immersed in her role. She's performing really well. I'll leave the title of Best Actress to you. Even Yi Zizi and Kai Yun had performed well. They were truly not bad. This place is too scary, Yu Hua said softly. Her voice was not loud, but everyone heard it. Pippi hurriedly consoled her. Miss, we Water City's people are all very kind, but some people are insatiable. They think that they can do whatever they want after entering the Bao family. What a joke. Pippi's heart sank. Xuanhuan glared at the fifth young master, looking like he would start a fight at any moment. If not for abalone dragging me, Xuanhuan would have let you see how red the color of blood is. However, could an abalone really hold Xuanhuan back? Wasn't it because you, Xuanhuan, were scared? Needless to say, Xuanhuan was indeed a little terrified. He blurted out everything in the heat of the moment. But now that he had calmed down, he realized where he was. Even if he couldn't match up to them, he had to stay alive. If he really failed today, he wouldn't be able to get out of Water City. Then what was there to talk about? He reckoned that once he left this restaurant, he would be finished. Husband, calm down. They're just egging you on. Don't be fooled. But you hurriedly said. If you were to leave now, then you would be falling into their trap. Xuanhuan finally had a way out of this embarrassing situation. He shouted, if it wasn't for Sharky's sake, I would have killed all of you. When these words were spoken, the entire place fell silent. They were all stupefied. This man really is. He was flexible. Just a moment ago he looked like he was going to fight with his life on the line, but then he changed again. It was too fast, it was really hard for anyone to react. Qing Yutong and the others were stupefied as well. This Xuanhuan is truly outstanding. Are the heroic words that you spoke just now all farts? I have never seen such a shameless man before. If he had the guts to fight with the fifth young master, he would still be a man even if he lost. The result was the same. It was too disappointing. Looking at the fifth young master's expression, it was as if he had been struck by lightning. It was the first time he had seen such a man. He coward. Even Leather scolded disdainfully. And Kong Hong and Kong Tai were even more ruthless, raising their middle fingers. This caused Qing Yutong and the others to express their curiosity. Could it be that this middle finger is also passed down from your ancestors? Just how many traditions did your ancestors pass down? Abeo Yuyu shouted out, don't instigate my husband anymore, my husband will not fall for your tricks. Sharky, you are really smart, I will not fall for their tricks, I, Xuanhuan, am not a fool. Everyone, can't you act like a man? Where did the awe-inspiring air you had before go to? You are too fucking trash. Husband, let's not lower ourselves to their level. And Sharky is right. Qing Yutong was almost unable to take it anymore. Just a moment ago he was still domineeringly flinging away other people's hands, and right now he is biting onto Sharky bit by bit, as if he is grabbing onto his last life-saving straw. I, Qing Yutong, am not convinced even when I pee on a wall, but you are the only one who is convinced. Right now Yi Zizi wished that she could smash him into pieces with a single punch. He is simply shameless. Trash, I despise you. Pai Qing shouted out. However, Xuanhuan and Baoyu ignored him. The two of them seemed to have reconciled and walked to the front desk together. At this moment, Bao Po's mood was very complicated. He really wanted to slap this man to death. He was simply shameless. He had never seen someone so shameless before. He didn't know why his sister was bewitched. It was simply incomprehensible. As the two of them walked to the front stage, everyone quietened down. After all, it was the marriage of the eldest daughter of the Bao family. The Pai and Kong families could be arrogant, but the others didn't dare to be arrogant. If they angered the Bao family, the consequences would be terrifying. So the wedding proceeded as usual. Qing Yutong sighed in her heart, this matter ended just like this is too disappointing. This coward, the Bao family is going to become a joke, Pai Guanghui said in disdain. He didn't touch the dishes on the table as he had no appetite at all. What's wrong with a live-in son-in-law being a coward? Pai Qing said coldly. After all, he wasn't from the Bao family. However, right now, Qing Yutong was scheming something in her heart. Oh, that's right, what is that deep-sea arena that you all were talking about? Qing Yutong asked with a curious tone. Along with Qing Yutong's words, they seemed to have recalled something. Originally, they were going to the deep-sea arena to fight. Originally, it was fine if they didn't say it, everyone would just treat it as if they didn't say it, but now, since they had already mentioned the deep-sea arena, how could they still treat it as if they didn't hear it? Could it be that I have to learn from that Xuanhuan? Isn't that the same as slapping my own face? So Pai Guanghui said indifferently, we will go after we finish eating, whoever doesn't go is a coward. I will accompany you to the end. Kong Tai said gravely. Right now it was too embarrassing to say no. After all, there was Xuanhuan as an example. Right now Qing Yutong was at ease. Ladies, eat the dishes, don't worry, no one will be able to bully you all. Pai Qing said lightly, taking care of the five beauties. Qing Yutong was thinking, only you all are bullying yourselves, that's all. However, I still have to taste the food in this water city. All of them are seafood and there are a lot of varieties. This Bao family is truly rich. Yuhua suddenly asked, why is this deep sea arena called deep sea arena? Kong Hong was more fond of Yuhua and said with a smile, deep sea arena, as the name implies, it is located in the deepest part of the ocean. The surroundings of the arena is filled with magma, and if you touch it, you will die. Thus, it is quite dangerous. Yuhua's face was filled with fear as she hurriedly said, then don't go to such a dangerous place. If there is anything, let's sit down and talk about it. Yuhua's words made them feel even more that whoever doesn't go would be a coward. Although they didn't really want to go, that place was indeed a little dangerous, and there was also the strange magma. Even a dozun would be afraid of it. Thus, it was very dangerous. What is there to talk about? If you don't agree, then fight. Baidu search 881 Chinese net yen. Chapter 899. Following Pai Guanghui's words, the smell of gunpowder was enough. There will be a good show to watch later on. After that, nothing happened. The husband and wife duo started toasting each other, but they did not come to this table. Instead, they let Baopa come over to toast. Qing Yutong did not mind, but the fifth young master was very unhappy. This is not giving me face at all. Are you guys really going to the deep sea arena later on? Baopa asked curiously. Of course, the words of a man carry weight. Kong Tai said faintly, isn't it just the deep sea arena? What is there to be afraid of? Baopa laughed lightly. This deep sea arena has not been open for a long time, it will be lively later on. Hearing this sentence, the fifth young master became silent. But since it has already come to this, I have no choice but to go. Baopa turned around and shouted, everyone, the Pai and Kong family's young masters are going to fight in the deep sea arena later on, come and support them. Hearing Baopa's words, everyone started cheering. This is simply too awesome. Both sides of the fight are the young masters of the Pai and Kong family. There will be a good show to watch. Originally, the fifth young master wanted to carry out the fight in secret, but Baopa's words directly exposed him. Not feeling good, very not feeling good. Brother Bao, how about we play together? Pai Ching said with a smile. Since you are not giving me face, then don't blame me. Baopa appeared very calm. If I come, then I will be bullying the weak. Just ask if you dare or not, don't be so long-winded. Kong Hong shouted coldly. Since you guys request like this, then I will accompany you guys to play. Don't cry when the time comes. Haha, who will cry and who will laugh is yet to be determined. When Qing Yutong heard that these people had already started to have internal strife, she was very happy in her heart. I am really looking forward to it. Would they fight to the death? Now that they were fighting, they couldn't care so much anymore. Then why are we still eating? Let's go. Pai Guanghui slammed the table. We are already going to the deep sea arena. I don't have the mood to eat anymore. Alright, let's go. Kong Hong said faintly. I will accompany you guys to play then. Baopa laughed lightly. Qing Yutong and the others were already impatient. They continued to sit on the carriage outside and followed these people to the deep sea arena. When everyone knew that they were going to the deep sea arena, they stopped eating and quickly followed them. After all, it was a rare opportunity to go to the deep sea arena. Without deep hatred, who would go there to fight? If they were not careful, they would die. However, young Master Six seemed to be discussing something. You guys are fighting because of the woman in the car, right? Baopa said lightly. The five of them remained silent. Baopa said again, since it's for a woman, then you have to get it. Otherwise, wouldn't this fight be a loss? What does 5 women have to do with you? Pai couldn't help but say. I'm just saying. If we fight today and something happens and the beauty leaves, wouldn't that be a loss? Haven't you guys thought about it? Baopa said indifferently. His meaning was clear. You guys are fighting for a woman. What if the other party didn't appreciate it? Wouldn't that be a waste of effort? Hearing what Baopa said, the fifth young master felt that what Baopa said made a bit of sense. How about we split it? Pai Ching said with a smirk. That's a good idea. Pai Guanghui raised both his hands in approval. Kong Hong laughed and said, split? Sorry, us 2 brothers are preparing to split it, so the one who wins has the right to split it. Pai didn't speak at this moment. If we really split it, I should be able to get 2, right? In any case, I was the one who brought them here. Sure. Pai Ching didn't oppose. Then I want to get 2. Pai said gravely. He had already thought of who he wanted, that sexy one and that twin-tails one big and one small. It was just perfect. Pai Ching laughed and said, Third brother, your appetite is not small, you want 2, sure. Who asked you to be the one who found the beauty? You guys are talking too early, there's still me, I might even be able to carry 5 back, haha. Baopa laughed out loud. Why did he have to come up with such an idea? Of course I want the beauty too. After all, this kind of beauty is too rare and taking the risk for it is worth it. The five of them had a look of disdain on their faces. I thought that Baopu is a gentleman, but I didn't expect that he is this kind of man, truly trash. At this moment, Baopu waved his hand and quite a few imperial guards could be seen surrounding the carriage, preventing the spoils of war from escaping. However, within the carriage, Qing Yutong laughed and said in a low voice, "Their faces have been revealed." Yemen. Brett sneered. Other than his honor and Zhu Tian, there isn't anything good about men. Yizizi stroked her own hair and said with a slight smile, "Kill them all later on, it has been a long time since I sucked people." Kill them all, Kai Yun said happily. A mist of blood had already appeared in front of him. The scene that is about to happen will definitely be very exciting. Yuhua didn't say anything. Killing them all is good. Qing Yutong said lightly, "Kill, of course we have to kill them, the problem is how do we kill them for it to be interesting?" Everyone nodded their heads. Killing people is easy, the important thing is, how do we kill them to make them feel good? There was a group of people following behind the carriage, and there were at least several tens of thousands of people. All of them were riding on living creatures and following behind the carriage. Even Qi Shuwen and Baoyu, who had just gotten married, were the same. Qi Shuwen knew about Kai Yun and Yuhua, and he sneered in his heart. "You bunch of trash, you still don't know after falling into my trap, you bunch of idiots. Husband, do I look good or do they look good?" Baoyu, who was sitting in Yihua's embrace, suddenly said. "Do you still want to compete? No matter who you compete with, you will still look good." To Qi Shuwen this was a free-point question. After hearing what Yihua said, Baoyu was also very happy. The Baoyu who was angry just now seemed to be fake. After a long time, everyone finally arrived at Deep Sea Arena. This was a strange place. On the horizon of the seabed, there was a huge crater, and it looked as if it was smashed down by a meteorite. At the center of the crater, there was a platform that was surrounded by red magma, and at the top of the platform there were spectator seats. Qing Yutong and the others got off the carriage. The surrounding people seemed to be protecting them, but in actuality, they were monitoring them so that they wouldn't let anyone escape. "Hero, why are there so many guards?" Brett asked curiously. Pippi squeezed out a smile and said with a bit of guilt, "That is to protect you all, don't be afraid, no one will be able to bully you all here." However, right now they were already being bullied. Pippi truly felt uncomfortable in his heart. Brett replied with an "oh," as if he really believed what Pippi said. This caused Pippi to not dare to make eye contact with them. "I saved them, but in the end, I brought them into an even deeper tiger's den. However, there is no other way for women like these, even if I have to use some methods, it would be worth it." As the people entered the arena, the surrounding seats were all filled up. However, Qing Yutong and the others were still standing. There were guards all around them and they were not allowed to move even a single step. Chapter 900. This was no different from guarding a prisoner. Everyone noticed this phenomenon. This shouldn't be considered a duel. This was just dividing up the prey. The ownership of these 5 women had been decided. The young masters of the 3 great families of Watertown didn't think they were frivolous. This was because such a woman could only be assigned according to her strength. There was nothing else to say. This was also a normal performance. If it were him, it would be the same. When Qi Shuwen saw the 5 women, he didn't show an expression of schadenfreude. Instead, he looked at the 6 young masters with schadenfreude. "I'm afraid you don't know this, but you can't afford to offend these 5 women. Back on Earth, who would have dared to touch it? Even if they were in a different place, just look at them. They were not afraid at all." He looked like he was trying to stir up trouble. "You've all been fooled. But I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to watch you guys die. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I feel like I've reached the peak of my life." Qi Shuwen was so happy that he immediately hugged Baoyu and kissed her, causing her to be extremely shy. After all, the girls in Water City were very reserved. Kissing in such an occasion was still very embarrassing. There were too many people. The entire Deep Sea Arena was filled to the brim with cheers. They were cheering for the distribution of beauties and cheering for the 6 young masters. "Sigh, what a sin." Yizizi sighed softly. Kai Yun propped up his chin and muttered, "Yes, it really is a sin. Sigh, this is too sinful." Qing Yutong said. "Those who commit sins will never know their sins," Brett said indifferently. Yuhua smiled and said, "Let's observe a moment of silence for the sinners." The surrounding guards were confused. How could it be them who committed the sin? The ones who committed the sin were them. You're just dividing it like a prize. The 6 young masters stood in the middle, but they didn't fall. They seemed to be discussing how to compete. But just as the 6 people were discussing, a dragon roar suddenly sounded. This caused the 6 young masters to go into a daze for a moment, and they looked towards one direction. Roar. The dragon's roar rang out again, and a huge pressure caused the seawater to boil. This was the pressure that came from a supreme being. The Kong family's patriarch has arrived. Yeah, only Kong Fei Cheng of the Kong family has such a mount. It's been a long time since I saw the Kong family's patriarch riding a dragon. Don't tell me he's trying to steal my son's woman? Haha, that's possible. A green divine dragon appeared in the dark seawater. The green light was very obvious. Of course, there was also the figure on the dragon's back. Very quickly, the green divine dragon circled above the deep sea arena. Everyone stood up and greeted respectfully, Patriarch Kong. Father. Kong Hong and Kong Tai also greeted respectfully. Kong Feicheng was an ordinary middle-aged man, but underneath this ordinariness was a genuine supreme martial artist. Someone who could stand on the same level as Broken Meridian Sect and Deity Institution. If not for the green divine dragon beneath him, no one would know that he was a supreme martial artist. However, right at this moment, another strange sound rang out. Kong Feicheng focused his gaze and looked into the darkness. Very quickly, a white figure appeared. It was a horse. That's right, it was a white horse, but it wasn't an ordinary warhorse. It was a prairie warhorse, a prehistoric divine beast. The white flame on the horse's hooves was the best proof. Although the white flame was not as powerful as mystical fire, it was still very ferocious. Just a little bit of it would be fatal. However, it was a 2-headed horse. There was a sword-like thing growing out from the middle of the horse's brows. It was emitting traces of electricity. As expected of a prehistoric divine beast. Every part of its body was a treasure. This, even the Pai family's patriarch, Pai Liangjun, is here. He also brought out his mount. What are they planning to do? Don't you understand? They are planning to use their flashy mount to seduce those 5 women. That makes sense. I've never seen them take it out before. They hide it like a treasure. Following Pai Liangjun's arrival, everyone stood up and greeted, Patriarch Pai. Father. The 3 brothers of Pai family also greeted respectfully. They realized that their father's dressing today was a bit handsome. Could it be that he came to steal their son's wife? Pai Liangjun was indeed a bit handsome today. As for why he came, no one knew. However, just when everyone was guessing whether Bao family's patriarch Bao Ci would come or not, a loud roar could be heard. Even the dragon and the prairie warhorse seemed very irritable. It was as if they were going to go over and fight. A black shadow appeared in the deep sea, and on the back of the black shadow was a person. There was no light at all, but it was precisely because of this that the black shadow gave off a very oppressive feeling, mysterious with a hint of terror. Gradually, the black shadow appeared in everyone's eyes. A horrifying giant crocodile. Everyone cried out in shock. Their bodies were trembling. If the dragon and the prairie warhorse looked very tall, then the horrifying giant crocodile looked very ferocious. Its huge body was at least 100 feet long. Although its mouth was closed, its fangs were exposed. Every single one of its fangs could be seen. Every single one of its fangs could probably be made into a prehistoric godly item. That's right, this horrifying giant crocodile was the legendary prehistoric beast. Even Supremes didn't dare to provoke it. It should be said that the 2 prehistoric divine beasts and 1 prehistoric beast were all the same. But such an animal was actually tamed, and it was only by a single Supremes. This caused Qing Yutong and the others to be very puzzled. Prehistoric divine beasts and prehistoric beasts were rather ferocious and prideful. It was impossible for ordinary people to tame them. Then, there was only one possibility. These 3 prehistoric divine beasts were left behind by their ancestors, generation after generation. Qing Yutong's guess wasn't wrong. With the strength of only Supremes, it was definitely impossible for them to tame the 3 prehistoric divine beasts. These 3 prehistoric divine beasts all had their own inheritances, and when the time comes, they could still be passed down to the next family. When Yi Zizi saw these 3 prehistoric divine beasts, she became a bit restless and even swallowed her saliva. Even Kai Yun was the same. After all, the 2 of them mainly devoured each other. When they saw these 3 prehistoric divine beasts, it was as if they saw a spicy chicken drumstick. 3 Supremes. The 3 prehistoric divine beasts floated in the sky, and everyone felt pressured. However, everyone was curious. Why did they suddenly appear? Could it be that they really did that with our son? Roar. A dragon roar immediately rang out. This was the roar that the green dragon let out towards the horrifying giant crocodile. The horrifying giant crocodile didn't cower and let out an even more ferocious roar. When that huge mouth of the crocodile opened up, it seemed as if it was going to swallow the entire sky. However, the prairie warhorse was attracted by a person. Chapter 901. She had a pair of red eyes, a horrifying smile, and that little tongue that was licking the corner of her mouth, as if she was very hungry. As if she really wanted to eat me up. Where did this little girl come from, to dare to be arrogant in front of me, Prairie Fire Warhorse? Let me roar once, I will let you all feel what is called the might of a primordial divine beast. Roar roar. Prairie Fire Warhorse also let out a terrifying roar. The dragon and the terrifying giant crocodile seemed to have gotten a shock. Are you fucking sick? Why did you roar without even greeting me? After roaring, Prairie Fire Warhorse felt very satisfied. Afterward, it looked towards Yizizi as if it was saying, if you look at me again I will drink you up. Yizizi could be seen sticking out her little tongue, then quickly changed into her original form. This kind of change was very fast, even Supremes were not able to see it, only Prairie Fire Warhorse was able to see it. Speaking of which, what is Yizizi's original form? I don't think I have seen it before. In the past when I fought with Yihua, I didn't even reveal my original form. Yihua also seemed to not want Yizizi to reveal her original form, as if Yizizi revealing her original form was very troublesome. From this, it could be seen how abnormal Yizizi's original form was. Prairie Fire Warhorse that saw Yizizi was a bit stupefied. What did I see just now? Is that a ghost? How is this possible? My Prairie Fire Warhorse is actually scared. Just what is that thing? It carries a bloody smell, it wants to eat me up. Prairie Fire Warhorse could be seen gradually retreating, and its gaze was a bit fearful. Pai Liangjun felt the warhorse's intention and was very confused. Why did it get scared? Wasn't it very ferocious just now, roaring crazily? The dragon and the terrifying giant crocodile looked towards Prairie Fire Warhorse and were also confused as if they were asking, is there a hole in your brain? Why are you retreating? Did you see a ghost? If Prairie Fire Warhorse could speak, it would definitely shout out, I saw a ghost just now and it was a big red ghost. Pai Liangjun hurriedly comforted Prairie Fire Warhorse. But no matter how he comforted it, Prairie Fire Warhorse was still very scared. In Kong Feiqing and Bao Si's eyes, Prairie Fire Warhorse was scared silly by its own mount. Of House Pai, your warhorse seems to be a bit scared. Kong Feiqing gently stroked his dragon whiskers and smiled. Look at my divine dragon. Does the gaze of a king make you very afraid? Are you trembling? Bao Si stood on the crocodile's head and laughed. House Leader Pai, did you forget to feed it? At this moment, Pai Liangjun felt like he had lost all face. His prairie blazing warhorse was fine just now. Why did it suddenly become like this? Pai Liangjun pressed his hands on the two horses' heads, and his palms emitted a faint glow. Only then did the Prairie Fire Warhorse calm down a bit, and it wasn't that afraid anymore. However, the two pairs of eyes still didn't dare to look at those 5 women. Seeing that the Prairie Flame Warhorse had actually stabilized, Bao Si and Kong Feiqing were slightly disappointed because they did not see Pai Liangjun make a fool of himself. But that was about it. Looks like we're in trouble today, Bao Si said, looking at his son and the other 5. It is indeed a little troublesome. Kong Feiqing also looked at his 2 sons. Why did they come here for no reason? What a troublesome fellow. If there's really no other way, ask them to leave first. Pai Liangjun rode over slowly on his Prairie Fire Warhorse. Bao Si said in a low voice, if we tell them to leave now, they'll think we're doing something here. Ask them to hurry up and finish the fight, then scram. That's the only way. Kong Feiqing said in a low voice, and his gaze looked towards the lava, seemingly carrying some sort of excitement. The 6 young masters who were standing not far away from the lava all felt a bit unnatural. Just what is the reason for all of our fathers to come here? I have no idea at all, and all of them came out on their mounts. Just what is the reason for all of us to come here? Are they here to stop us? But looking at their actions, it doesn't seem like it. Right at this moment, Bao Si shouted out, Bao Pa, since you all have decided to have a proper fight, then hurry up. What are you all standing there for? Bao Si thought that his father was going to stop them, and didn't expect that it would be like this. Father. Qing Yutong pouted her mouth, seems like he isn't simple. That's right, there's something even more delicious. Yizizi pursed her small lips. True, there's a good show to watch. Kai Yun clapped his hands and said, giving off a feeling as if he didn't know anything, the naive and romantic type. Brett let out a light sigh. I really want this farce to end quickly so that I can bring Ju Tian back and have fun. Every time I bring Ju Tian to take a bath, Ju Tian would reveal a look of despair. This is simply too interesting. I didn't expect that Zhu Tian would have such a cute side to him. Yu Hua is still fine, Lai Gu is at home, and there are still the other three looking after her. Nothing will happen. In the arena, the winner of the first match had already been decided. That was Bao Po versus Pai Pai. When the winner of the match was decided, the entire arena cheered. At this moment, Bao Ci smiled and said, "Clan head Pai, I wonder if your third brother will be able to fight against my son." Bao Ci clearly had the intention of teasing Bao Po. Bao Po's strength had reached rank 8 Dozun, while the other 5 were only rank 2 or 3. Their strength was still considered close, but compared to Bao Po they were still lacking. Furthermore, Pai Pai was only a rank 2 Dozun. How could he be a match for a rank 8 Dozun? Hee clan head Bao, why don't you ask your son-in-law to come out and fight? I heard that your son-in-law made a fool out of himself. Pai Liangjun also knew how to say a few words of mockery. In the past, your Bao family didn't have anything to use against you, but now you have. You got the worst son-in-law in history. I really don't know what you are thinking. Bao Ci didn't know what to say for a moment. This son-in-law is like a thorn in my heart. It doesn't hurt if it's on my chest, but my face hurts. But Yu likes it, what can you say? Even if you don't like it, you have to accept it. After all, I love my daughter dearly. Seeing that Bao Ci didn't say anything, Pai Liangjun felt that he had finally turned the tables. Kong Feiqing didn't say anything at the side, but he was thinking about what to do next. The alliance was only temporary. When the time comes, if they were to fall out, it would be faster than anyone else. Originally, I thought that today was a good day and I thought that the wedding would attract people's attention. Who knew that they actually came here? The three of them directly looked at the culprit. The first sentence that appeared in their mind was, "Femme fatale." If it wasn't because my son saw it first, I would also have the heart to go down and compete. After all, this kind of woman is indeed interesting. The older one is sexy and mature, while the younger one has an even more different kind of flavor, as if it is very pleasurable. As long as I grab the ponytail I can go crazy. Interesting enough. The three of them are really terrible old men, they are really bad. Qing Yutong pouted her mouth. They are really shameless, staring at me fiercely. Even your son isn't so unrestrained. Chapter 902. Yu Hua and Brett nodded their heads. They are indeed very bad, they are even worse than their son. Humph, Yi Yezi snorted, she decided to teach them a lesson later. Who do you guys think will win? Let's start the match, Qing Yutong laughed lightly. It should be that Bao Po, his strength seems to be slightly stronger. Yu Hua said softly. The difference was right there, so it was easy to tell. Yu Hua's words obtained the agreement of the 5 women. If the difference in strength was close, then it would be hard to tell. But the distance between the two of them was a bit far, so it was not hard to tell. Even Pai Pai knew this, the difference between him and Bao Po was right there, but no matter what, he still had to try his best. After all, there were so many people watching, it was fine to lose face in front of his brothers, but he definitely could not lose face in front of his father. After all, if he lost face today, he would become the joke of the entire Water City. Even if he lost face today, he had to lose with honor. Pai Pai, you are not my opponent. If you surrender, you will be spared from the pain of your flesh. Bao Po did not even take out his weapon. It could be seen how much he looked down on Pai Pai. In Bao Po's heart, he did not need to use his weapon to win against Pai Pai. It was the same even if he was against the other 4, if the 5 of them came together, he would have to use his weapon. But right now there was really no need for that. Pai Pai took out his sword, it was that sword that was smeared with poison. To be able to poison Yang Haoyin, that kind of Zhizun, it could be seen how vicious the poison on the sword was. This poison was refined from the most poisonous creature in the underwater world, it was very precious. So if Pai Pai wanted to win now, he had to use his sword to stab. Even if it was just for a moment. Bao Po was very strong, this poison might not be able to make him stay in a stalemate for a long time, but even if it was just for a few seconds, he still had a chance to win. This was Pai Pai's strategy. Use your weapon. Pai Pai shouted in a low voice. Bao Po smiled slightly and said, I don't need a weapon to deal with you. Such hurtful words, but Bao Po still said it. This made Pai Pai very angry. As long as you let my sword touch you, I will make you pay the price. Bao Yuyu, who was sitting on the audience seat, asked softly, Husband, do you think Big Brother will win? Of course, Big Brother is a rank 8 Dozun. Dealing with a rank 2 Dozun is just a matter of waving his hand. Qi Shuwen also thought this way. There was no suspense unless Pai Pai had purposely suppressed his strength and chose to erupt at this moment. If he was only a rank 2 Dozun, he would definitely lose today. Yes, I think so too. Her brother was so strong and her father was also so strong. When her husband grew up, he would also be very strong. She was truly blessed. As the fight between the two began, the excited audience stood up and shouted. The blue veins on their necks looked as if they were about to burst. It was a shocking sight. Bao Pe, since you underestimated me, I will make you pay the price. Pai Pai angrily shouted as he brandished the sword in his hand in a strange and unpredictable manner. Bao Pe said indifferently, to be honest, I don't think that's necessary. At the very least, I should give you some leeway. Watch my sword. Leather suddenly stabbed out with his sword, and the entire deep sea arena was illuminated by the sword light. With one look, one could tell that this sword was not an ordinary item. Not bad, you've improved, but you're still too far away. Bao Po's voice came from behind Pai Pai. Pai Pai's expression darkened as he instantly felt a loud sound coming from his back. His body immediately flew out and smashed into a stone pillar beside him. Boom boom boom. The huge stone pillar suddenly collapsed and fell into the magma, instantly disappearing without a trace. The audience was silent. These two had just started fighting and Pai Pai was already at a disadvantage. He was even sent flying with a kick. It felt good to ruin the scene. It felt good in any way. Of course it was by shouting loudly. The entire deep sea arena was filled with loud cheers. Even Kai Yun shouted excitedly. This kind of fight was suitable for him. He really wanted to go up and play with them. Kai Yun was referring to the three old men in the air and not anyone else. House Leader Pai, looks like it's still not enough. Please forgive me. Bao Xi began to show off. His son was really proud. Pai Liangjun said in a deep voice, Humph? The difference in strength is right there, what's there to be happy about? Strength is also obtained through cultivation. My Pe-er is extremely hard-working. As for those two sons of yours, if they cultivated like my Pe-er, how could they be so weak right now? Bao Xi boasted once more. His sons were just tools for him to brag about his own abilities. Pai Liangjun snorted and didn't say anything. How could he not know what his two sons were like? So embarrassing. Kong Feiqing didn't say anything because if he did, the result would be the same. His two sons weren't his match either. In the arena, Pai Pai steadied himself and stared at Bao Pe. Bao Pe stood with his hands behind his back and looked mysterious. Pai Pai, admit defeat. This is the best result for you. Don't even think about it. Pai Pai shouted angrily. It was absolutely impossible for him to admit defeat. Heaven Sealing Ghost Chart, Black Coffin. Pai Pai formed a seal with both hands and a huge amount of battle energy spread out from his body. Bao Pe smiled as he looked at Pai Pai. However, at this moment, a black shadow appeared around Bao Pe and sealed him. With the speed of Pai Pai's hand seals, the black shadow quickly formed and sealed Bao Pe in an instant. A huge coffin floated in the air, forming a strange scene. Your son is not bad. He even learned the black coffin. Bao Xi was a little surprised. This black coffin could only be controlled by a 5th grade dozun. Otherwise it wouldn't even be formed. Nonsense. Do you think my son is playing around? Pai Liangjun said with disdain. Actually, he was also surprised. When did his third brother learn this move? It was very illogical. The 4 people watching from the side felt the same. Third brother, not bad. You even managed to create a black coffin. You hit it very well. Pai Guanghui said softly, his eyes filled with surprise. Third brother is very shrewd. It's not like you don't know. Pai Qing said indifferently. The 2 Kong brothers didn't say anything. If they were the ones on the arena, they would probably lose. When did this Pai Pai refine a black coffin? It was too much to criticize. Qi Shuwen looked at the black coffin with curiosity. He had long heard that Watertown's Heaven Sealing Ghost Chart was powerful. Seeing it today, it was indeed worthy of its reputation. When the time comes, he could also learn this Heaven Sealing Ghost Chart. After all, this chart was only provided to the 3 great clans. This was also one of the reasons why he wanted to become a son-in-law. The Heaven Sealing Ghost Chart was really fascinating. Suddenly, a clear sound rang out. A finger appeared on the black coffin and pierced through it. Chapter 903. This clear and crisp sound seemed to stab into everyone's heart. Everyone knew very well what this black coffin represented. But now it had been pierced by a finger. How was this possible? Pai Pai, I really didn't expect that you even managed to successfully cultivate the black coffin, and you even used the strength of a 2nd rank. What a pity. This black coffin can only unleash 20% of its strength. You are just drawing a calabash, that's all. After Bao Po's words stopped, Bao Po could be seen using one of his hands to slap the black coffin, and the black coffin turned into black stars and disappeared. Pai Pai's heart sank. He did not expect that it would still not work. He had forcibly released the black coffin, but it had not reached that level of power. Just as Bao Po had said, it was just a drawing of a gourd. But even if it was just a drawing, Baopo was actually quite surprised. Do you think you can draw this black coffin just like that? If you don't have the least bit of talent, how can you do such a thing? Leather's potential was much greater than that of his two brothers. At this moment, Bao Xi smiled and said, "What a pity this black coffin still can't hurt my heir. Can your lousy son release the black coffin at the second grade?" Pai Liangjun emphasized the word, lousy. Just like your lousy son. At this time Kong Feiqing said something fair. Actually, Pai being able to unleash a move like black coffin at the second level already means that he has a lot of potential. House leader Pai, please take good care of him. He'll become someone great in the future. Pai Liangjun also smiled and said, "The two young masters of clan head Kong are not bad either." Bao Xi snorted. Not bad my ass." The five women also felt sorry for Pippi. In fact, they felt that Pippi was a good person. At least he helped them. Although he couldn't resist the temptation in the end and did something bad, he was instigated by someone else. Therefore, the five women still hoped that Leather could win. After all, it was meaningless to stand up in a one-sided battle. But from the looks of it, this Baopo was even more powerful. If Pai didn't have a trump card, he would be in danger. At this moment, Baopo said lightly, Pai, just admit defeat. There won't be any results if you keep fighting like this. Bullsh*t. Stubborn fool. Then let me show you what a real black coffin is. After saying that, Baopo quickly formed a black void around Pai. His speed was even faster than Pai's. Heavenly Ceiling Ghost Chart, Black Coffin. Baopo angrily shouted, completing the final hand seal. Looking at Baopo's black coffin, it gave off a thick deathly aura. Whether it was color or luster, it was definitely more amazing than the black coffin from before. Even their size had to be bigger. Hurry up and tell your son to admit defeat. Otherwise he's going to die. Kong Feiqing hurriedly said. This black coffin was not a joke. If it was sealed for too long, it would cause death. Pai Liangjun clenched his fists tightly. Asking his son to admit defeat? Wouldn't that be asking the entire house Pai to surrender? Bao Xi smiled but did not say anything. Beg me then. If you beg me, I will release your son. Looking at the lifeless black coffin, Pai Liangjun's face darkened. Third bro. Fight for your father's honor. The entire scene quieted down. Everyone stared at the floating coffin, wondering if House Pai's third brother would be able to escape. If he broke free, it would be a slap to his face. If he couldn't break free, then House Pai would lose face today. Although Pai Cheng and Pai Guanghui were separated from their third brother, at this moment, they still revealed a worried expression. After all, they were brothers. It was fine if they quarreled internally, but when they were outside, they had to be united against external enemies. Third bro. Do your best. The two brothers shouted in their hearts. Qing Yutong was also anxious. Didn't you know how to use your brain? You even kneeled down to Yang Haoyan before, now you should also kneel down and listen to your father. As time passed, everyone sighed. This Pai would rather die than surrender. As expected, he is a man. Of course, Baopo did not want to kill Pai, after all, it was not good. But just now, his father told him not to break free, so he could only wait. Bao Xi silently waited for Pai Liangjun to come and beg for mercy. Pai Liangjun was already running out of patience. The more time passed, the more dangerous his third brother would be. I can't wait any longer. Pai Liangjun looked towards Bao Xi. Bao Xi did not even look at him and pretended to look at the scene. However, Pai Liangjun's hands began to slowly raise as if he wanted to cup his hands. But when his hands were raised in midair, a voice rang out. This caused Pai Liangjun's heart to sink. This also caused Bao Xi to be shocked. How is this possible? Heavenly Ceiling Ghost Chart, Anatta. A strange voice rang out from within the black coffin. This caused everyone's expression to change. Even the three old men were the same, and in their minds the word lunatic appeared. Even if you beat Baopo to death, this Pai actually dared to use Anatta. This is something that only a 9th rank Dozun can release. This fellow has surpassed his rank again. Does he not know the price of using Anatta? Could it be that you have a grudge against me for killing your father? Or is it because you stole my wife? You must be sick. Pai Cheng and Pai Guanghui had stupefied expressions on their faces. Third brother's performance today simply caused everyone to be dumbstruck, unimaginable. Looking at the Kong brothers at the side, they were the same as well. Do you really have a grudge against Baopo for you to actually use an ata? My god, you are truly crazy. This move seems to be very powerful. Kai Yun suddenly laughed and said. He could feel that the aura within the black coffin was gradually rising, and it was very powerful. Yi Zizi also withdrew her smile and said in a low voice, "Indeed, this whatever an ata is very powerful." Brett's gaze gradually sunk. "This kind of skill is very powerful and it can even be compared with my own. This water city is really a pleasant surprise. Prehistoric divine beast, prehistoric ferocious beast, Tian class skill, it is still quite powerful. We have to re-evaluate the strength of this water city." Qing Yutong said in a deep voice. "If even a pai could use an ata, then what kind of situation would it be like for 3 Jizun to use an ata? Furthermore, under the situation of using an ata, would it still be possible to superimpose other skills?" At this moment, Qi Shuwen asked curiously, "Sharky, does this ata have any side effects?" Abeo Yuyu nodded his head. "Heavenly Sealing Ghost Chart, ata. It requires a 9th rank dozun to activate. Once the skill is activated, one's strength will rise exponentially. I have never seen it that strong. This is the first time I have seen someone use an ata, and the side effect is to drop 1 rank. Now, Pai is a 2nd rank dozun. After using it he will be a 1st rank dozun." Speaking until this point, Abeo Yuyu sighed softly. "This Pai is really stupid. He wants to save face and suffer. It is obvious that he cannot defeat my brother, yet he insists on using an ata to fight my brother." Qi Shuwen knocked Abeo Yuyu's pink forehead. "Are you stupid? He also wants to force your brother to use an ata, intending to injure both sides.